82 degrees, a little warmer than expected. Dick Stockton along with Eric Karros, and the Angels have been a huge nemesis for the Yankees, particularly over the last 5 years. What's behind the fact that the Angels have had the Yankees number, Eric?
Well, you know, it's just a combination of Yankee mistakes and the Angels' persistence, and that's what happened last night. 4 unearned runs. You know, the Yankees are this overwhelming team. They're led by Mark Teixeira, second in the American League in home runs. Bobby Abreu for the Angels, stolen bases, gets on base, runners in scoring position. He's hitting almost 400. Just persistent. They keep going at you. You know, they're like a gnat, just constantly waving at you. You can't swat them away. The Yankees weren't able to swat them away last night.
No, they will not. And we have a couple of solid pitchers in a great matchup today. Andy Pettitte, left-hander veteran for the Yankees. Jared Weaver, the right-hander for the Angels. So coming up, it'll be the Angels and the Yankees, where the hitters have dominated the season series thus far. Here in Anaheim, and today's starting lineup for the Yankees, brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Derek Jeter will lead off. Began last night as the DH, ended at shortstop. That's where he is today. Johnny Damon will be in left. Mark Teixeira will be at first base hitting third, and Alex Rodriguez at third base batting cleanup. Hideki Matsui will be the DH. Jorge Posada behind the plate. Robinson Cano will be at second base. Eric Hinsky, newly acquired, will be in right field, and Brett Gardner will be the center field for the Yankees. Jared Weaver, who's been the Angels' most consistent starter this season, comes in with a 9-3 record, and winning his last start, rebounding from a terrible performance against Texas, but he has had a great year.
Well, he really has, and almost has emerged as the ace of this Angels staff right now. He's got to stay hot at home. Perfect day to stay hot, too, because it is warm. He's 5-0 against the American League clubs at home. And he's got to be the ace, and that's what he's emerged as this year with the injuries, the lack of performance. He has become the #1 guy for this Angels staff.
And it's interesting because the Angels have really had tough sledding as far as their starting pitching has been concerned. That has always been the catalyst for this team, and the hitting was the question, but the hitting has been out of sight. And great run production offensively for the Angels. So let's talk about these teams over the last 5 years. The Angels have dominated. This is the all-time series history. But if you look at just the last 5 years, the Yankees have a 7-16 record. Overall, 18-31 in the last 5 years against the Angels, and of course, losing in postseason as well. Well, now it's time for the Budweiser opening pitch. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. Set to go, and last night, the Yankees led 5-1 in the fourth inning and ended up losing 10-6 as Java Chamberlain had his second rough start in a row, and the bullpen just didn't get it done. Here's Derek Jeter, however, batting .321. Starts the day, fifth in the American League in hitting. And the first pitch taken, ball one. There's the way the Angels played Jeter, who was 1 for 11 lifetime against Jared Weaver, and hits this in the air to center field. Gary Matthews Jr. makes the play, and there's one down. Let's take a look now at the Los Angeles Angels defensively. Rob Quinlan, Gary Matthews Jr., and Bobby Abreu man the outfield. Brandon Wood just called up as at third. Eric Ibar and Howie Kendrick in the middle. And Kendry Morales at first. Weaver will be throwing to Mike Napoli. And, of course, the big story with the Angels is the fact that Vladimir Guerrero and Torrey Hunter both on the disabled list. And despite the fact that two big weapons not playing, they managed to score the runs nonetheless. Here's Johnny Damon with one out. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Well, you talk about the ability for the Angels to score runs. They don't just rely on the big home runs. They rely on moving guys over, putting pressure on the other team. That's what they did last night, along with some three-run home runs.
2 balls and 1 strike to Johnny Damon, who has 16 home runs, 1 shy of his total of last year. I think he has learned to love the new right field porch at the new Yankee Stadium.
Well, he's shown some power this year, hitting the home runs, driving in runs. Been great in that number 2 spot for the Yankees.
There's the 3-1 pitch and a fastball fouled back on the screen. So here is Weaver from Simi Valley here in California, attended Long Beach State. And you talked about how effective he has been at home, 6-1 here at Angel Stadium, and the third best home ERA in the league. That pitch missing outside, ball 4, and Johnny Damon is a base runner. And here's Mark Teixeira.
Batting third, number 25, first baseman Mark Teixeira.
And of course, as many of you may know, Mark Teixeira finished last year with the Angels and finished very successfully, but as a free agent signed with the Yankees. And I think he's used to getting the boos in places like Baltimore and Boston and here in Anaheim. Damon, the base runner at first with 1 out. First pitch, 1-0 the count.
Well, I understand the boos, but by the same token, while he was here with the Angels, you know, he did his job. Hit over 350 in the playoffs. He hit well over 400. And he put himself in a position as a free agent. He earned the right to go out there and try and go wherever he wanted to go.
1-0 pitch in there for a call strike, and he admitted that he loved his time here, but he said, look, 99% of it was a family decision. He is from Maryland, his family from the East, and he was determined to go to an Eastern team. Damon not much of a lead, and Teixeira hits this out to short left field. Brandon Wood making the catch for out number 2. So Mark Teixeira coming in tied for second in the league with 21 home runs and 5th in RBIs is retired. So there are 2 down, and here comes Alex Rodriguez. Last night, Alex Rodriguez hit a solo home run to center field in the 5th inning. Went 3 for 5. And slammed his 15th home run of the year. So 2 down. Damon, the base runner at first, held on by Kendry Morales. breaking ball in for the strike, right at the knees. And here's last night, the solo home run off of Joe Saunders in the 5th inning. 568th career home run for A-Rod, one shy of tying Harmon Killebrew for 10th all time. And wearing the shades with the bright glare and sunshine. 0-1 the count. And there's a fly ball hit deep to left field. Rob Quinlan going back on a warning track, and this is gone. Home run for A-Rod. A 2-run blast to give the Yankees the lead. #16th home run for Alex Rodriguez, now with 49 runs batted in, and the Yankees, as they did last night, take the early lead.
Well, here he gets a fastball. They want to go inside. Weaver leaves it out over the plate. And today the ball will be carrying because it is so hot. Well, he didn't absolutely crush it, but he got enough of it to get it over the fence.
So Alex Rodriguez giving the Yankees the 2-0 lead. And here is Hideki Matsui, the designated hitter, and he takes a curveball for a strike. The Yankees now with 128 home runs. Now this is where A-Rod stands behind McGuire and Killebrew on the all-time list. That pitch is inside 1-1. But the Yankees with 128 home runs, second behind the Texas Rangers in all of Major League Baseball. Matsui hitting .266, has 13 homers, 39 runs batted in, a breaking ball foul down the right field line.
Well, you know, you talk about the Yankees' power, and that man right there, Alex Rodriguez. You have Mark Teixeira, Johnny Damon's hitting home runs. In the last series against Minnesota, where they swept the Twins, only one home run. And that's one of the things that Joe Girardi is excited about. They can score in so many different ways.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Matsui. Talking about the sweep of the Minnesota Twins, Eric, the loss last night broke a road winning streak of 8 in a row. The Yankees had not won 9 in a row on the road in 11 years, and they were snuffed out. But they have been successful. In fact, overall, they have won 13 of their last 16. But Matsui called out on strikes to end the first, but not before. Front 2-0, and Right now, here's today's starting lineup for the Angels, brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun, kind of a makeshift lineup with all of the players out. Sean Figgins, the DH. Eric Ibar is at short. Bobby Abreu, the ex-Yankee, is in right. Mike Napoli behind the plate. Kendry Morales will be at first base. Gary Matthews Jr. is in center. Howie Kendrick batting seventh. Brandon Wood hitting eighth at third, and Rob Quinlan batting ninth against Andy Pettit as Sean Figgins fouls it off. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. So Andy Pettit, who was beaten Monday against Toronto, and his problem is plain and simple. Too many bases on balls. Has had problems with his control as of late. It comes in with an 8-4 record. And this is inside to Figgins, 2-1. And there you see the numbers for Andy Pettit, who has pitched better on the road than at Yankee Stadium. On the road, 4-1 and a 2.79 earned run average. And now falling behind 3-1 to Figgins.
Well, and that's what the Yankees need today. They need Andy to continue to be that road warrior. They're 6-1 in his starts.
And he walks Figgins. So there we're talking about problems with bases on balls, and he walks Figgins to start the bottom of the first inning. Let's take a look at the Yankees in the field. Jorge Posada behind the plate. We'll get to him. Damon, Gardner, and Hinsky in the outfield. Rodriguez, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira in the infield. And Pettit and Posada. How many years have they been a battery in the American League? So Figgins is on base, and here is Eric Ibar, who hit the 3-run homer in the 8th inning to really put the game away for the Angels last night. Switch hitter batting right-handed against Pettit. And the first pitch up and away, 1-0 the count. 4 switch hitters in the Angels starting lineup. Ironically, all of them are hitting better from the left side of the plate than they are today, facing Andy Pettit from the right side. Here's the 1-0 in there for a strike, letter high.
The one thing about the Angel hitters, though, is they'll go out there and they'll put a good at-bat on you, whether it's Eric Ibar, Meister Turris, who's not in the lineup today, Howie Kendrick, Figgins. Those guys go up there and they battle. They're not easy to pitch to because they're not big swing and miss guys.
1 ball and 1 strike with Figgins on at first to throw over there. Figgins, by the way, coming into the game, 4th in the American League with 25 stolen bases. And the Angels with an opportunity here, trailing 2-0. And Bobby Abreu on deck. Talk about a player who has blossomed. Again, over to first goes Pettit. There is Abreu, who was a tremendous bargain for the Angels and has delivered big time. L.A. and without the services, as we mentioned, of Torrey Hunter, Vladimir Guerrero, as well as Juan Rivera, who is out. Goes after the high pitch and misses, 1-2.
Well, and you're talking about guys that are in the middle of the lineup, too. When you talk about a Hunter, a Guerrero, now Rivera out for the day, that's the power. And that's something that they don't have a lot of depth with those guys out. Now it's going to rest on the shoulders of a Kendry Morales. Abreu is going to have to hit for a bit more power. Napoli's in the middle of that lineup today.
Here's the 1-2 pitch, and the breaking ball is fouled back. Well, last night, Eric Ibar hit the big 3-run homer down the line in right field off of Brian Bruni in the 7th inning, his 3rd homer of the year. Yankees led 5-1, and the Angels fought back to tie it up, took a 7-5 lead. It was 7-6 before. Ibar put it away. 1 out for the Angels in the bottom of the 1st inning. Yankees lead 2-0. And there goes Figgins, and the ball is hit into center field, and it's going to be caught. A terrific catch, rushing back to first, and just getting back in time is Figgins. Brett Gardner with a terrific catch on a ball that at first looked like was going to drop in, and now the Yankees out of their dugout.
Well, Gardner gets a good jump, and he comes up throwing. Figgins was running. Now Figgins just goes back in, standing up. Mark Teixeira does a nice job of faking him by not acting like the ball is coming. He's just standing there, and then boom, he makes a stretch. Now, if you look at that, the real key right there is this over here. You can't see him. But Alfredo Griffin, the first base coach, he's not doing anything. He's standing over there at first base. He's got to be getting down on the ground, being demonstrative, because Sean Figgins has his back to the throw. He doesn't know what's happening. He was easily out in that. There's Alfredo right there. But see, you look at this, Dick. Out by at least a step.
You know, it's interesting. We have had several plays in the last week in which players were called out and might have been safe upon further review. In any event, here is Bobby Abreu with one out, and Figgins still at first base. Remember the incident with Derek Jeter last week when he went to third, and at first the explanation he thought was that you don't have to be tagged out on a steal from second to third. And then, of course, after a meeting, they said, well, maybe there was a misunderstanding in the explanation. There's been a couple of those incidents lately. And there's a strike to Abreu. Abreu, who has 36 runs batted in the last 36 games, to give you an idea of what he has meant to this Angels team, having a stellar season. Joe Girardi quickly out of the dugout on that play at first. Pettit, the long look at Figgins. And the count 1-1 to Abreu.
Well, you mentioned Abreu. You know, ironic that he was with the Yankees last year and now with the Angels, and such an important cog in this ball club. Mark Teixeira with the Angels last year, now with the Yankees. But Abreu has just fit in perfectly, starting to run more, has 19 stolen bases this year. You know, hitting well with runners in scoring position. He really epitomizes this Angel brand of baseball, getting on base, getting the hit when the runners are out there, and then constantly putting pressure on you when he's on the bases.
But it's a different year in the AL West. Last year, the Angels skated to victory, winning the division by 21 games, and now they've got some big-time competition in the Texas Rangers and the Seattle Mariners. The Rangers leading by a half a game, and the Mariners coming into today's play in third, 4.5 out. So Mike Scioscia knows it's a different year. And it's certainly different with his club getting the run production, but the pitching has not been up to snuff. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Figgins gets a good jump. Swung on and missed. The throw not in time, and Figgins in for this 26th stolen base of the year. And the count 2-2 to Abreu at the plate.
Well, Andy Pettit, very difficult to steal against. Sean Figgins gets a great jump. Jorge Posada really has no chance at all. But what's interesting, you see the footwork there, the good release, bit of a high throw, but again, no real shot. But the Angels don't care what the score is, what the situation, they will run.
They stole a base last night, down 5-1. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And a slow hit bounding ball to Cano. He'll make the play as Sean Figgins goes to third, and there are 2 down. And as we were talking to Mike Scioscia before the game, and he said, look, I think more and more you're seeing managers aren't going by the tradition, by the book. You just have to manage the game throughout.
Well, and I think you manage the game throughout, and you manage the personnel that you have. I mean, just because you have a certain philosophy, if you don't have the guys that are able to execute that philosophy or that plan, you've got to change your strategy. But Mike Scioscia, because of all the injuries, the situations that he's had this year, he's had to be creative at different times during this year.
Here's the designated, or the catcher, Mike Napoli. And on the first pitch, hits it in the air to center field. Brett Gardner coming over to his left makes the catch to retire the side. The Angels leave a runner at third after 1 yanks up. By Pepsi is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, the freedom to name your price. By Avodart and by Hyundai. Now Hyundai Assurance can even lower your price at the pump. And the top of the second inning against Jared Weaver, it'll be Jorge Posada, the Yankees veteran catcher, batting .287. With 38 runs batted in, but he has been red hot at the plate, 9 for his last 18. Yankees leading 2-0 on A-Rod's 2-run homer in the first inning. And of course, you know, this is the last weekend before the All-Star game. And we want to remind you that the All-Star game, and you know it's going to be something special this year in St. Louis, will come your way on Fox exclusively. It'll start at 4:30. We bring you batting practice on foxsports.com, followed by the Pepsi All-Star pregame show at 8. And a fly ball hit down the left field line. Rob Quinlan coming over toward the line, and it's out of play. So Posada will have to come back and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. So the All-Star game, and President Barack Obama will throw out the first pitch. So it'll be Tuesday at 8 p.m.
Well, I'll tell you, I can't wait to see Albert Pujols playing in his hometown. You see that little billboard out there, the All-Star game next year here in Anaheim. But boy, Albert Pujols, best player in the game, playing in front of his hometown fans for the All-Star game on Tuesday night. I can't wait to see that.
You will be there to see it. And the breaking pitch, and Posada swings and misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Chris Rose, who is with us as well this afternoon, will also be at the All-Star game. Both of you guys will be manning the respective dugouts, so it should be fun. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out to Posada, followed by Robinson Cano and Eric Hinsky here in the second inning. And the count now full to Posada.
You know, Jorge Posada having a real nice year. You see Robinson Cano on deck. You know, this is after last year with the injuries and offensively struggled. But this year, 11 home runs already.
3-2 fastball and a good pitch to hit. Fouled out of play behind the Angels dugout. Angels snapping a 2-game losing streak. They had dropped 2 to Texas. And I think most people think that the Texas Rangers are going to be around to stay. In fact, today you have 2 of the top 5 teams record-wise in all of big league baseball. And a pitch fouled at the plate. And Jared Weaver and his catcher Mike Napoli saying, wait a second, that landed in fair territory all the way. And the home plate umpire Mike Everett shakes his head.
Well, you know what was interesting about that play, and what was smart about that play, is the reaction of Jorge Posada. Because a lot of guys that bust out of the box and try to run, you're going to be thrown out. And here, he just stays at home plate, just like, hey, yeah, that ball hit me off the foot, trying to sell the call to the umpire. Which, again, you know, people say, well, he's not hustling. Absolutely a brilliant play, because now it's a foul ball. He's got another opportunity.
And it looked like it bounced on the plate in any event. And Posada, the story is told, strikes out for out number 1.
Let's go back and look at that play that Brett Gardner made in center field. And then he throws the ball to Sean Figgins. Look at the first base coach, Alfredo Griffin. Arms down right there. Arms have to be up here. Get him up. Let Sean Figgins know what to do. Sean Figgins goes in standing up. Now the umpire calls him safe. He was clearly out, but that's what the coaches are out there for. You've got to help your base runners.
So we actually had 2 decoys there, Mark Teixeira and Alfredo Griffin. Griffin was decoying his own man. Here's Robinson Cano with 1 out. Cano hitting .306. Having a superb year at the plate, takes a strike.
Now see, this is that play in its entirety here. Brett Gardner coming in, makes a great catch, comes up throwing, and you see Sean Figgins just going in, standing up. Again, you got to get some help from your coaches.
1 out as Weaver has struck out 2 batters in a row, misses here, and the count 1-1 to Robinson Cano. Well, last year, after 85 games, Cano was hitting .248 with 6 homers. Right now, .306 with 13 homers. And there's a sharply hit ball, 1 hopper to Kendrick on the outfield grass, makes the play for out number 2. The umpiring crew this afternoon here at Angel Stadium. Mike Everett behind the plate. Brian Gorman is at first. The crew chief Jerry Davis at second, and C.B. Buckner is at third. 2 down to Eric Hinsky, who was acquired on June the 30th from the Pittsburgh Pirates. And a good man for the Yankees to pick up, not because he's been on a couple of World Series teams last couple of years with the Red Sox in Tampa Bay, but a solid player, can play many positions, good fielder. Here's the 0-1 to him, and it's 1-1.
Well, and you talk about his versatility, his ability to come off the bench in a pinch hitting role, and there's a reason that teams that have been in the World Series were there. They were there because of his ability to deal with people in the clubhouse, his presence.
Breaking ball hit in the air, deep to center field. Gary Matthews back there and sees it get out of here into the bleachers. So Eric Hinsky, whose first hit in a Yankee uniform was a home run on Monday, hits one deep into the right center field bleachers to give the Yankees a 3-0 lead.
Look at him stay back right there. Stays behind his front foot and throws his hands. Big man, has some power. Now remember, he came up early in his career with the Blue Jays. They had a lot of high expectations for him. Curtailed by injuries, but has turned himself into a very nice support player. Big home run.
Big pickup for the Yankees as Brett Gardner looks at a fastball for a strike. Gardner playing center field. And there you see the Yankees creeping to within 1 of the Texas Rangers for the home run lead. 1 ball and 1 strike to Gardner, hitting .286. And the third baseman, Brandon Wood, playing a couple of steps in at third. Pops this up to the left side of the infield, and Wood, playing perfectly, makes the catch to retire the side. But the Yankees have 2 homers in as many innings. Here's Hinsky with a drive into the seats. 3-0 in favor of the Yanks, middle of the second. By Pepsi is sponsored by Bud Light Lime. The drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime. Well, the Yankees leading 3-0 going long ball against Jared Weaver. 2-run homer by Alex Rodriguez and a solo shot by Eric Hinsky. So the Angels looking to get back in this one, and Kendry Morales hits the first pitch to right field, but Eric Hinsky comes over to make the catch for out number 1. Morales out on 1 pitch as we send it down, I don't know where, to Chris Rose.
Well, it would not be in the shade, Dick Stockton. Before the game, you said it was 82 degrees. That must be in the booth. Down here, it's like 100 or so. As Matthew Broderick once said in the movie Biloxi Blues, it's like Africa hot down here. It's supposed to climb into the 90s. Humidity for Southern California, that's like a four-letter word. You don't hear it very often out here. It's like 47%. It's crazy, and everybody's probably wondering, well, Chris, it's so hot. Why are you wearing a tie today? That's because Eric Karros got to our producer this week, Jeff Gowan, and said, make Rose wear a tie this week and not the golf shirt. EK, appreciate it, buddy.
Hey, I'm waiting for a report out in center field with the water. Get out there in the water, the rocks, and the tie's not so bad.
Dude, I'm trying to get a wind tunnel down here at the end of the Angels dugout. Joe Saunders was nice enough to give me a cup of water. That was kind of cool.
Chris Rose, our staff meteorologist.
Yes, weather and traffic on the 7s, Dick.
Pitch outside. You've done that, no question about it. 2 balls and 1 strike to Gary Matthews Jr., who had his 1,000th career hit last night. Single in the 2nd inning. And looks at a pitch outside from Pettit. 3 balls and 1 strike. Andy Pettit walked the leadoff hitter last inning. The first, Sean Figgins, stole second, was stranded at third. And Brett Gardner made a fine play in the outfield. Fastball, and the count now full, 3-2 to Gary Matthews Jr.
Well, and you talked about, Andy Pettit and his concerns. Obviously, the control not issuing as many walks. 5 walks in 6 innings pitched in his last start.
Just getting a piece of that, and the count remains 3-2. So Andy Pettit, by the way, making his 27th career start against the Angels today, 12-8 lifetime, has no decision this year. Faced them and Jared Weaver on May 1st as the Yankees won that game 10-9. Hit to shortstop, and Derek Jeter making the play for out number 2. And right now, for a DirecTV game break, let's go back to Chris Rose.
All right, Dick. The Cubs, 4.5 games back of the Cardinals to start the day in the NL Central, but a big first. Jeff Baker with a 2-run single. Cubs have added another. They are up 3-0 in the second. Remember to follow your favorite out-of-market team only on DirecTV. Back to the air condition, guys.
Not quite, but thank you, Chris. As Howie Kendrick looks at a strike. Angels second baseman hitting .228. Standings in the National League Central, and there you see that the Cubs 4.5 behind, tied with Cincinnati in a virtual tie, that is. And you know what? The parity, and I never like parity, I like balance, because we have some solid races in every division going past this All-Star game.
Well, we really do. I mean, you talk about the American League, the Central, it's wide open. The East, wide open, as far as there's 3 teams involved. Probably the wild card coming from that division. And, of course, the American League West. Angels, Mariners, Rangers right there.
2 balls and 2 strikes. That pitch down low to Howie Kendrick. And, of course, the early season darlings in the AL East, the Toronto Blue Jays, falling by the wayside. And, of course, by Halladay on the market perhaps. And we'll talk a little bit about this. Ground ball hit to Jeter, and a 1-2-3 inning for Andy Pettit. It's 3-0 Yankees, and will return to Anaheim. Welcome back to Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. Derek Jeter leading off for the Yankees in the third inning, fouls off the first pitch for a strike. Jeter fly to center his first time up and had 4 hits last night. Also unaccustomed, as we've seen, Derek Jeter dropped a pop-up. A-Rod made a bad throw, and a couple of Yankee errors opened the floodgates for the Angels. There's a breaking pitch, and it misses 1-1.
You know what I like, though, with Derek Jeter, people asked him after the game, the media, what happened? He just said, hey, look, I dropped it. There weren't any excuses. There weren't the lights, this, that. Hey, I dropped it. And that's the thing that separates Derek Jeter from a lot of superstars is accountability. He says, hey, it is what it is. I dropped it.
And, I think people in baseball, all the fans around the country sense it. That's why perhaps he's the top vote getter for the first time in his career in the American League. And as he said, it makes you kind of feel good that people respect what you do, and even if you're not a Yankee fan. And obviously a lot of support for Derek Jeter, who's been nothing but a professional throughout his career, and people know it. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and it's in the air to Gary Matthews Jr. And Jeter would like to have that back. That was a good hanging breaking ball that he flies out. So 0 for 2 is Jeter.
And to expand on that point you just made, as you look at where Derek Jeter ranks as far as all-time Yankee hit leaders and the number of Hall of Famers that have played, second, and he is sure to pass Lou Gehrig if he stays healthy. But you talk about him appreciating, or people appreciating what he does, I think just as much they appreciate how he does it. That's why he is so popular.
Johnny Damon walked his first time up. Pitches down low. So here's Johnny Damon, who came over and was a fixture in the leadoff spot. But now Jeter back in there because Damon not running the same as he used to, but showing that power, and a very valuable guy in the number 2 position for Joe Girardi. 2 balls and no strikes the count. 1 out here in the third inning. The Yankees lead 3-0. Beautiful day, and it's good that we're in the shade of the press box, though it'd be still warm. Here's the 2-0 pitch. 2 balls and a strike. Jared Weaver, 26 years old, and his older brother Jeff, of course, pitched for the Yankees as swing and a miss. Got fooled on that pitch, did Damon, and the count 2-2.
Fans fanning themselves. It is a warm one out here today. Not much air circulation as well.
Strike 3, and Damon is called out on strikes. And that is strikeout number 3 for Weaver. Well, next week on Fox Saturday Baseball, the Mets head to Atlanta to take on the Braves. Both looking to gain ground in the NL East. The Angels battle the A's. Orioles square off against the White Sox. Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Pepsi. Next week, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on Fox. Check your local listing. And the boos cascade down for Mark Teixeira, who takes a strike 0-1. Teixeira popped out to Brandon Wood at third his first time. And the count 1-1.
We were talking to manager Joe Girardi prior to the game, and we were talking about Mark Teixeira, and just, he's a blend-in superstar. And a blend-in superstar, a guy that doesn't carry all the peripheral garbage that comes with being a superstar. He doesn't bring a lot of attention to himself. Just goes out there, plays the game in a very professional way. Serious, but can have fun. But it's business with him. And as Joe Girardi said, he really appreciates that. And those are the type of guys that are easy to manage.
Strike 3, and a fastball sets down Teixeira. 4 strikeouts to this inning. And 3 here for the Angels because Brandon Wood, the number 8 hitter in the Angels lineup, takes down low ball 1 as the Angels bat in the 3rd inning. Trailing 3-0. Brandon Wood just called up when Torrey Hunter and Vladimir Guerrero went on the disabled list. Second time he's been called up from the AAA Salt Lake City, and he was hitting .318, so he was hitting well, and Mike Scioscia has always liked his defensive prowess.
Well, he's a guy that has a lot of potential. He's done everything he can in the minor leagues as far as production. Now he has to prove he can do it at the big league level.
And the pitch on the inside corner, 3 balls and a strike. The only base runner, the leadoff hitter, Sean Figgins in the 1st inning, who walked, stole second, stranded at 3rd base. Ball 4, and the second walk, second base runner. We talked to Mike Butcher, the Angels pitching coach, and of course, different story this year for the Angels. Normally the hitting may be the problem. This year the pitching needs to be shored up.
Yeah, you know, we just got to get things back on track. We were a little rough earlier on in the bullpen. Bullpen seems like it's we're getting back into stride here, and now we got a little starting rotation going on right now, so we just got to get back into sync and get things going again.
Talk about Brian Fuentes and his all-star first half that he's had.
He's done a great job this year. He's a guy that works hard. It took him a little while to get in sync. He had a little rough spring training, had some back things going on, but bounced back. He's been throwing the ball extremely well for us, commanding the ball a lot better. His velocity has picked up since the first few weeks of the season, and he's just done a nice job for us nailing down the back end of the bullpen.
Well, Mike, have a good all-star break. Good luck second half.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Rob Quinlan taking outside, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Quinlan with some long looks down at Dino Ebel, the 3rd base coach for the Angels. On deck, the top of the order, Sean Figgins, and talking about Brian Fuentes, who leads the major league in saves. He is right now the only all-star representing the Angels in St. Louis on Tuesday. Torrey Hunter was also selected, but because Hunter can't go, and a real disappointment for Torrey Hunter because he grew up in Arkansas, St. Louis Cardinal fan, and really had looked forward to being in the Mound City for the All-Star game.
Well, and with Torrey Hunter not going, a lot of people thought that Sean Figgins may have an opportunity, but Nelson Cruz going instead from the Rangers.
And a call strike on the inside corner. There's Figgins on deck, who was one of the 5 candidates for the final roster spot that went to Brandon Idge of the Tigers. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The leadoff batter is on at first base, and another foul ball. Quinlan trying to go the opposite way. Torrey Hunter, of course, big disappointment, right, Chris?
Yeah, Dick, in fact, I talked to him before the game, and he was placed on the 15-day DL with a strained adductor muscle. And he actually tried to convince the Angels, just give me 3 to 5 days of rest. And they said, listen, we're short too many bodies between the injury to you and Vlad Guerrero. We can't do that. For the team's sake, he understood, but he's still disappointed he's not making his 3rd All-Star game appearance.
Could be a double play, and it is. Jeter to Cano to Teixeira. And so there are 2 outs now, and the double play. Here's the injury story. Vladimir Guerrero, who played only 2 games in the outfield, made his first season start last Sunday, was out 5 weeks with a torn right chest muscle. And, of course, Guerrero hasn't played all that much this year. And, of course, Torrey Hunter is hitting .305 with 17 homers to lead the team and 65 runs batted in.
Well, and the smart move by the Angels to put Hunter on the disabled list. I mean, sure, could he possibly go out and play? But much better to have him get out of the game, rest, recover, come back strong in about 3 or 4 weeks, and carry the Angels the rest of the season instead of playing 70-80% the rest of the year.
And the first pitch is a strike to Figgins, who walked, stole second, and was left at third in the first inning. Andy Pettitte looking for his 9th win in 13 decisions and trying to rebound from his loss on Monday to the Toronto Blue Jays. Pitch goes back to the backstop. Well, let's look at those injuries. Torrey Hunter placed on the DL, as Chris Rose mentioned, and the recurring injury finally sidelined him. And Vladimir Guerrero strained knee muscle and injured this past Tuesday, planning to make a throw from the outfield, and that's how the two got hurt and why they are on the disabled list.
Well, and it should be noted, Torrey Hunter aggravated that in that situation. He first initially hurt it trying to make a catch at Dodger Stadium in the month of May, re-aggravated it in June again in the outfield, and then that was the final straw the other night.
2-1 pitch, fouled out of play, and there's Torrey Hunter crashing into the walls, reckless abandon. When you do that enough times, you're going to get hurt. San Francisco, the last one. So Hunter with a good season. In fact, when you look at Rivera and Hunter, and there you look at Torrey Hunter's number, but the former Yankee Juan Rivera with .312 average, 16 homers, 52 RBIs. You're looking at 33 homers and 117 RBIs out of the lineup. Figgins fouls it off, and the count remains 3-2 with 2 outs, nobody on base here in the bottom of the third.
Well, again, that's something that the Angels will have to overcome, and this is where Mike Scioscia plays an important role, because he is creative, because he knows what to do. He'll press different buttons, take away the power, he'll try to manufacture runs with speed.
Figgins hits it in the air to left field. Johnny Damon glasses down, makes the catch, and that'll do it. Leadoff walk goes by the boards after. By Pepsi is sponsored by Valspar Paint. Valspar, the beauty goes on. By KFC and the new $5 fill-up box featuring Kentucky grilled chicken. And by Chevy. Well, the man who put the Yankees in front 2-0 in the first inning, Alex Rodriguez, will lead off against Jared Weaver. And you might say that A-Rod loves facing Weaver and the Angels. He has 5 hits and 12 trips against Weaver, 4 of them home runs. But he has hit 63 home runs against the Angels. Most of any active player against any team in baseball. As he fouls off the breaking ball, 1-1.
Well, this is a pitch that he doesn't really get, but still strong enough to muscle it over the left center field fence. And remember, this is a guy that is coming off hip surgery, missed a good part of the first half of the season, but still excellent numbers. 16 home runs already.
Breaking ball is inside 2-1. He missed 28 games today, Rod. Returned on May the 8th. On the outside corner, and A-Rod with a long look at home plate umpire Mike Everett. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Alex Rodriguez. Matsui and Posada to follow here in the 4th. Breaking pitch, fouled upstairs. You thought about, there are so many choices, obviously, for the starting pitcher for the All-Star game, and a lot of relievers and closers. What about the starters?
Well, you have to take into consideration when these guys last pitched prior to Tuesday. For me, though, the National League's a no-brainer. Tim Lincecum gets a start of the San Francisco Giants. Our director, Jim Lynch, is loving that plug right there. Works for the Giants. But again, Lincecum has just been dominant, and that's a confrontation I want to see. I want to see him going against the American League All-Stars.
I think he's loving Jonathan Sanchez even more.
Wow, yeah.
Today after that no-hitter. And the pitch is taken for a ball. It's 3-2. So here are the candidates. Dan Harron may be pitching as well as anyone in baseball. You mentioned Lincecum. Greinke for Kansas City, and of course the emotional pick would be the 42-year-old knuckleballer Tim Wakefield. Ball 4 inside, and Alex Rodriguez draws a walk. That is the second walk of the game by Weaver. Fox Sports, your place to turn for complete coverage of the All-Star game. It all starts 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. We'll bring you batting practice on foxsports.com, followed by the Pepsi All-Star pregame show featuring the complete starting lineup introductions. And believe me, they are special when they come out in the uniform right on the foul lines. There's a certain drama there. People Magazine's All-Stars Among Us ceremony and a historic first pitch thrown out by President Barack Obama. Fox's coverage of the 2009 All-Star game begins Tuesday on foxsports.com. Close over to first.
We see Alex leaning a bit towards second base. Henry Morales tagging him up by his shoulder. Now you see where Alex goes into the bag. He goes in on the outer part of the bag. Why does he go out there? Because it's difficult for the right-handed first baseman to make that tag. That's the longest distance as far as having to catch it and then reach to his right-hand side. See, now watch Alex. He's going in with that right hand. He goes to the outer part of the bag. That's great illustration there. Not so good. Telestration, I should say.
Well, a little art school will cure that. No balls and a strike. Matsui with the big cut and miss. Yankees leading 3-0. Breaking pitch in there for the strike. No balls and 2 strikes. So Weaver is ahead of the Yankees designated hitter, who is probably as happy as anyone that interleague baseball finally ended. All he could do was pinch hit. Didn't have many opportunities. Had 1 hit in 9 games as a pinch hitter during the interleague play. And the pitch is outside. So that's going to be very interesting. The .com batting practice, Chris Rose. You're going to be manning that one.
That's right, Dick. It's the 3rd straight year we've brought it to you on foxsports.com. The players are nice and relaxed, even though it is game day. Ken Rosenthal will be doing the interviews with us. We'll have some guys join us on the set. I'll be joined by Royce Clayton, who was an all-star at the 1997 game in Cleveland. So it'll be just kind of a fun, relaxed atmosphere before we gear up for the network broadcast at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
Thank you. Setting the table will be Chris Rose as Matsui fouls it back, hangs in there with the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Anybody know the weather forecast for Tuesday, Karos? What would you like me to wear? A parka?
I just wondered what attire you were going to be featuring. I mean, you're talking about it being relaxed. I mean, are you out there in the golf shirt? Are you going coat and tie like a professional?
Suit, brother.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, I'm going to need a new shirt by the 5th here.
You know what's great, Chris, is you wore a dark shirt too. You could have worn a white shirt.
Yeah. That was a dry cleaning issue, Dick. Dry cleaning issue.
1-2 pitch. More information than maybe we needed to know. And the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Matsui. As the Yankees leading 3-0. And there is Jorge Posada waiting on deck. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yankees with 3 runs on 2 hits. Both hits home runs. And swing and a miss as Weaver with his 5th strikeout gets Matsui twice in the game, once looking and once swinging.
Well, here Weaver comes with an off-speed, a changeup. You see Matsui way out in front, pulling that front shoulder out. The head goes out. And that's because, again, he changes, and I say Weaver changes the hitter's rhythm. And that's the whole art of pitching, trying to get the hitter off of their rhythm. You don't have to throw 100 miles an hour every time. Just disrupt the hitter's timing.
Here is Posada, who was a strikeout victim his first time up. So Weaver was given up a couple of home runs. And the 4th time this year he's given up more than 1 homer in a game. Also has 5 strikeouts. Runner at first is Alex Rodriguez with 1 out and the pitch taken ball 1. So Jorge Posada, who was out 22 games with a hamstring problem in his 15th year. And Posada had the game-winning single off Brian Fuentes on May the 1st as the Yankees, who were trailing 9-4 in the 8th, won 10-9. Kind of reversal of fortunes with last night's game when the Angels won 10-6 after trailing 5-1. 1-1 to Posada.
Well, you know, interesting about this Yankee season so far, talking to manager Joe Girardi, he felt like they could even be better than they've been up to this point. You know, Alex Rodriguez missing time, Jorge Posada missing time, Mark Teixeira having a slow start. You know, Sabathia, Burnett haven't, hit their strides. I mean, although Burnett has thrown extremely well in his last couple of starts. But he still thinks that they are going to get better the remainder of the year.
Well, let's not forget Jim Wong twice has been on the disabled list, and he was expected to be one of the aces, of course, with Sabathia and Burnett there. That's the number 1. Ball strike to Posada, 1 and 2. But you look at what you're talking about. Guys who have been hurt, players who have had big holes in their production during the year, and then an 0-8 record against the Boston Red Sox. And yet they come in only 1 game out. Things could be worse.
Yeah, you could be the Nationals.
Throw to first and diving back in the ball, getting away. And it's retrieved by Kendrick as Rodriguez will go to second. An error will be charged to Jared Weaver.
And this really is not that bad of a throw right there. You see Kendry Morales almost gets, well, he doesn't almost, he gets his feet locked, unable to move his front foot, his left foot, to the direction of the throw. He's just almost like he has his feet in cement, then tries to reach for it, can't get the ball. It goes down the right field line. Alex Rodriguez moves to second.
Even though the Angels did come from behind last night, you don't want to have the Yankees tack on too many runs here. This early in the game, it's 3-0, and now the pitch low and inside. 2-2 to Posada. So Alex Rodriguez in scoring position at second with 1 out. Angels coming in a half a game behind Texas in the West. Yankees a game behind the Red Sox in the East. And a breaking pitch hit in the air to center field. And Matthews makes the catch. Tagging up but not going is Alex Rodriguez, and there are 2 down as Posada is retired. So Weaver trying to get out of that leadoff walk situation, and here's Robinson Cano, who grounded to second his first trip. And time called as Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, quickly coming out to talk to Weaver.
Well, I think right now he's asking him, what do you want to do with Cano? Do you want to go after him? We've got first base open. You can try to make a pitch to Hinske, who did hit a home run in his last at-bat against Weaver. But I think Cano is more of a contact guy, will take the ball the other way. You know, almost the smarter move to either walk him intentionally or pitch around him.
Of course, on deck is Eric Hinske, who blasted a home run deep into the right center field stands.
Well, you can look at it this way. What are the chances of him hitting 2 home runs?
Well, I'll tell you, Weaver, has faced Hinske 10 times, and Hinske has 4 hits, including the home run.
So you're bound to get him out. That's the way I would look at it if I'm Jared Weaver. Hey, I'm going to get this guy out.
Point counterpoint, folks, here in Anaheim. 2 down, and A-Rod is at second. And Robinson Cano. Let's see how Weaver plays it. First pitch outside, ball 1.
Well, you see that number. You see that 206 with runners in scoring position. You know, not a proficient hitter with runners on base, but again, still more of a contact guy.
Breaking ball line to center field. Matthews will take it on a hop. The base hit, the score. Rodriguez throw to the plate, cut off. And an RBI single by Robinson Cano, and the Yankees now lead it 4-0. So the first pitch was outside, and then Cano slams the fastball to center for the RBI base hit.
Well, and you see he keeps his head down. He's not trying to do too much with this pitch, just trying to make contact, drive it into the outfield. And again, this is the problem, going after a hitter like Cano, somebody that's going to put the bat on the ball, not trying to jerk something or muscle it, just make contact. The Angels aren't successful by going after Cano as he drives in the run.
So there you see Robinson Cano, now one behind Carl Crawford for third in the American League hit parade. Here's Eric Hinske, homered. Back in the second inning. So 2 out, and here is Hinske's home run. No doubt about this one, Eric.
Well, he gets a hanging curveball, and he stays back. He doesn't get out on his front foot, stays behind that front leg, and drives the ball to right center field.
So Cano is on at first base with 2 down, and the Yankees now leading 4-0. And again, you've got to go back to that throwing error by Jared Weaver that put Rodriguez on at second to set up the base hit from Cano. And is a ground ball hit to second baseman Kendrick. And that will do it, but not before the Yankees score. Leadoff walk and error, and an RBI What are you doing? What are you doing? Just to... Andy Pettitte now has a 4-0 lead to work with as the Angels bat in the bottom of the 4th inning. And Eric Ibar, Bobby Abreu, and Mike Napoli, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th hitters, running up to bunt. And taking ball 1 is Ibar, who was robbed of a base hit by a fine diving catch by Brett Gardner, who took off on the crack of the bat. And a fine defensive play in center field in the 1st inning. Squaring the bunt, taking the strike, and it's 1-1. Ibar with a 3-run homer last night, giving the Angels the breathing room. Now they're looking to get back into the room as he takes the ball 2-1. Angels have been in 2nd place since May the 9th, tied for 1st late June. 1st place since June the 28th, dropped to 2nd after the 2nd loss to Texas. Line shot down the left field line, could be extra bases. Damon will play it off the wall, and Ibar with his speed will easily sail into 2nd with a leadoff double.
Well, Ibar staying right on top of that ball. It's outside pitch. He gets out in front of it and lines it down into the corner of left field. Johnny Damon doing a nice job of playing it off the wall. Instead of going right at the ball, because it is curved and he knows it's going to shoot out alongside the wall, he takes a little deeper angle, makes sure that Ibar is held to only a double.
And the first base hit of the game for the Angels, who trail by 4. Johnny Damon manning left field, and the sun's strong today. Here's Bobby Abreu, who grounded to Cano at 2nd his first time up. And there's a shot to center field. It's going to be a base hit. Easily scoring will be Ibar as Gardner retrieves, and Bobby Abreu now has driven in 37 runs in his last 37 games. How about that for consistency?
Well, here Bobby Abreu gets a pitch over the middle of the plate, and he's not trying to yank anything or drive. He's content with just getting the base hit. See him keep his head down. He serves the ball into left center field. He had a few hits in that direction yesterday. But this is the mantra of the Angels. They never quit. They'll just nag at you. 1 run here, 1 run there. Before you know it, you're in trouble.
They're like gnats, as you said at the outset.
Yes.
Mike Napoli, the batter. 4-1 the score as the Angels finally get to Andy Pettitte here. Still nobody out. Abreu is at first, and Mike Napoli, the catcher, taking ball 1. So Abreu, who's one of the best in the league at on-base percentage, 3rd in runners in scoring position delivering, and having a great year, and they're going to need him with Hunter, Rivera, and Guerrero out of action. Shot down the left field line, foul, and a couple of hard hit balls off of Andy Pettitte here in the 4th inning, Eric.
Well, Andy Pettitte's pitching with a 4-0 lead, now 4-1, but his main goal not to walk guys. Go ahead, throw it over the plate. Now, sure, does he want to be getting hit as hard as he's been hit so far this inning? No, but the main concern for him, don't get behind, don't walk hitters.
Pettitte has walked 2. Walked the leadoff hitter in the 1st and 3rd innings. Gave up a double to start the 4th inning. Second time around for the Angel hitters against Pettitte in this game. Lead by Abreu. The 1-1 pitch is low and inside, 2-1. By the way, the RBI single for Bobby Abreu was his 55th of the season. So here's Napoli, who will also handle the bulk of the DH duties, as the Angels now have 3 catchers on their roster. And Abreu, who is 6th in the American League with 19 stolen bases. And don't say that Mike Socha won't try to steal down in this game. He did it last night.
Well, as you mentioned, last night down 5-1. Figgins steals a base, ends up scoring. Later on in the inning, Bobby Abreu steals a base. Again, constant pressure regardless of the score.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Mike Napoli, the cleanup hitter today. Kendry Morales on deck for the Angels. Figgins and Abreu amongst the leaders in stolen bases.
Well, and you know, Dick, we're talking about stolen bases, and that's something that, you know, you have league leaders, you can quantify. But another thing, the Angels going first to third as well as anybody in the game. Again, forcing the issue, scoring on base hits from second base. Constant pressure.
Here is the 2-2 pitch, and chasing a high pitch in the strike zone. Napoli strikes out for out number 1. Well, Joe Girardi has had some injury problems. 0-8 against the Red Sox, and here they are, 1 game out of first place. Not bad.
Yeah, we've played really well as of late, and it seemed like when Alex got back in the first week in May, we took off, and his first AB hit a 3-run homer, and we played very well since he's gotten back.
From the outside looking in, looked like a fun bunch of guys. Everybody's real excited. They're comfortable. You know, what is the difference between last year's clubhouse and this year's clubhouse?
Well, I think it's some of the characters that we added. Nick Swisher's a great character, and he brings a lot of fun to the mix, and so does A.J. Burnett. And, you know, the new guys that we brought in, they fit right in. Tex is very professional, goes about his business every day, and CC, right away, he started taking all the starters out in spring training, and it just got to be a close-knit group of guys.
Joe, good luck second half.
Thanks, guys.
And, of course, Nick Swisher, who really has been a great addition, and you were talking about him this week, the pie in the face and the looseness that you haven't seen in the Yankee clubhouse in quite a while. No balls and a strike, and Pettit going over again to keep Bobby Abreu close. Chopper to shortstop. Jeter. 1 play, and that's all. They get the force. And erased it to second is Abreu. So there are 2 down, and Morales is the base runner. Here is the Yankee current starting rotation. Jabba Chamberlain's been struggling lately. Sabathia and Burnett. After the All-Star break, it'll be A.J. Burnett who will make the first start against the Tigers.
Well, and again, those top 2, Sabathia and Burnett, the free agent acquisitions, they have been very good. Burnett has been exceptional in his last couple of starts. Pettit, reliable. Chamberlain, I mean, he's been good if he's your 4th or 5th starter. The problem is the expectations from everybody is he's got to be this wonder kind and has got to throw a shutout every single time.
2 down now for the Angels here in the 4th inning, and the first pitch is ball 1 to Gary Matthews Jr. grounded short, his first trip to the plate. And of course, as you know, in the big media markets, that, you know, Jabba Chamberlain, the questions are going to come, you know, every time until he ends up turning things around. That's just the nature of things. And people who play have to be understanding that reporters have to ask the questions that the fans want answers to. Brett Gardner, followed by the Sun, finally makes the catch. The Angels get a run on Abreu's RBI single after Yankees in front of the Angels 4-1 as we go to the top of the 5th inning. Brett Gardner, the number 9 hitter, leading off. Gardner popped out to Brandon Wood at third, his first time up. And Brett Gardner's been a pretty valuable guy as he squares the bunt and takes the ball, as the bottom third of the order for the Yankees really has come through as of late, and Brett Gardner has spearheaded that bottom third effort. 13 of the 20 runs scored by the Yankees against Minnesota, engineered by the lower third. The count now 2-0 to Gardner.
Well, and that's something, too, that, you know, has separated this Yankee ball club from some of the teams in the past. They don't just need to rely on 2 or 3 guys. I mean, everybody seems to contribute.
There's a strike, 2-1. In fact, look at today. Hinsky with a home run and Cano with an RBI single. That's 2 of the 4 runs from the 7 and 8 hitters in the Yankee lineup. There's Brett Gardner. Been a good addition. Played in 42 games last year and hit .228. Did well in the month of May and even better in June. And he and Melky Cabrera alternating in the outfield. And there's the bunt, and it's fouled at the plate. And the count full now at 3-2.
Well, and because there are a number of players that are versatile players, and now that you've added Eric Hinsky, you know, not only is it good you give guys days off, but what it also does is it creates competition for playing time. And usually what that does is that elevates a player's performance. So it works 2 ways. You give guys rest, and also you create that competitiveness.
Here's the payoff pitch to the leadoff hitter here in the 5th inning for the Yankees. Strikes out on the curveball, and that is strikeout number 6 by Jared Weaver.
Jared Weaver here. Fastball just right by Gardner. Well, Weaver has great stuff. He just got himself into some situations where with Hinsky, the base hit to Cano, Alex Rodriguez. But again, as you mentioned, 6 strikeouts, swing and miss stuff.
Here's Derek Jeter, who is 0 for 2, twice has flied out to center. 4 hits last night, but now 1 for 13 in his career against Weaver. Fouls off the first pitch out of play. Well, if you're not in the All-Star game, Chris Rose, what do?
Are you saying I didn't make the All-Star? I'm going to the All-Star game, Dick. Oh, you're talking about the other players. I got you. I talked to a few of them. CC Sabathia, he's been to 3 All-Star games. He's taken his wife on a nice little vacation to Cabo. Nick Swisher, I figure he's a single guy. He'd be heading to Vegas from here. No, he's going to New York. He said, put me in a body cast for about 5 days. I need the relaxation. So, I don't know. Eric, these guys look forward to it like the end of school, I imagine.
Well,
right?
it's a big deal. And now with the Yankees, they don't open until Friday, and they're in New York. So that gives them an extra day. Some teams open on Thursday. But I'll tell you what, more than the physical break, the mental break is something that is very refreshing.
No balls and 2 strikes, and the breaking pitch is outside. And, of course, unfortunately, I know that Chris is working, and you're not getting a break because you're working the All-Star game.
We're going to be in there. You know, I'm excited, though. I'm going to be in that National League dugout. Like I said, get to watch the game, a great seat. Might be a bit warm in there, though.
Yeah, Karros, it's your 2nd straight All-Star game.
1-2 pitch by Jeter, deep to left field. Cleveland going back, and it's going to bounce off the wall. And Jeter will go into second with a double. Derek Jeter with the 4th Yankee hit of the game, with 1 out here in the 5th inning, and their 3rd extra base hit.
Derek Jeter getting an off-speed pitch. Now he stays back. You see him stay behind that front foot. A lot of guys, what happens, you get fooled, you get your weight out on your front foot, then you just roll the ball over, you hit a ground ball. He stays back, throws his hands, drives the ball to the left field wall.
So it'll be the 10th All-Star game for Derek Jeter. It'll be the 10th for Mariano Rivera, and the 2nd for Mark Teixeira. Yankees with a runner in scoring position, 1 out. Johnny Damon, 0 for 1 with a walk and called out on strikes. Takes down low, ball 1. So the Yankees trying to answer the Angels' run in the bottom of the 4th inning by getting 1 back. Jeter with the lead. Ibar trying to stay close to him. way behind that pitch out of the strike zone, 1-1. Damon coming around and scoring ahead of Alex Rodriguez, 2-run homer in the first inning. That missed away, 2-1. Yankees have won 13 of their last 16 games. And there is Alex Rodriguez. The Yankees were 13-15 when A-Rod returned on May the 8th. So you see the influence he's had overall. Pop-up, foul territory, and into the photographer's box, out of play. So it's 2-1 to Damon.
You see Mike Napoli, a little warm back there with the catcher's gear. Umpire as well. Derek Jeter out at second base. But this is a day where you've really got to drink a lot of fluids. When you come into the dugout, usually your trainer is in there. He's got the cups of water already poured. You just go sit in the dugout seat and down as much fluid as you can.
Weaver 2-2 to Damon. Foul ball out of play. Well, here is today's Gillette trivia question. We've been talking about it. Derek Jeter and Mariano Rivera have each been selected to their 10th All-Star game. What is the all-time record for All-Star game selections as a Yankee? Mark Teixeira on deck for the Yankees. Weaver, who is 3-1 lifetime against the Yanks, low and inside, and having to make the stop was Mike Napoli. So it's 3-2. And the 90th pitch from Jared Weaver is upcoming. On deck, Teixeira. Weaver finds himself down 4-1. Wants to keep it that way, and time called as a beach ball. Why not on a day like this? Comes out near the Yankee dugout.
Well, and you see Jared Weaver's pitch count. Fourth inning had 23 pitches, but again, on a day like this, you know, you're out there, you're throwing a lot of pitches. Your defense is standing around in the sun.
Here's the 3-2 breaking ball, and it's popped up behind the plate. Napoli, and it's out of play. So it's still 3 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out. Jared Weaver coming in with a 6-1 record at home and a 2.05 earned run average. And his brothers, we know, pitched for the Yankees for 2 years. Jeff, and also with the Angels in 06. Getting ready for the 3-2. Lead at second by Derek Jeter. And a shot gloved by Brandon Wood. The throw to first in time. And a backhanded stop by Wood on the hard hit ball by Damon. And that saved a run. There are 2 down with Jeter holding at second.
Really a nice play by Wood. You know, with the left-handed hitter, because of the bat angle, usually going down the line, the bat, Wood makes a diving play. And you see he even looks to pick up Derek Jeter to make sure he's not coming to third base. Sets and makes a good, strong throw. But had the awareness to find the runner, Derek Jeter.
And Napoli out to talk to Weaver with Teixeira. Dangerous hitter coming up. Came in today, tied for second with 21 home runs in the American League, and fifth with 63 runs batted in. Where he had a drought of 95 times to the plate without a home run before going deep against the Twins this week, as the Yankees swept Minnesota, not only this week on the road, but 7-0 on the year. 2 down, and Jeter the runner at second base. And against the left-handed hitting, switch hitting Teixeira, Eric Ibar playing behind Jeter as he takes his lead. There he is, right down the center. 1-0 the count. Rodriguez on deck for the Yankees, and Teixeira swings and misses as he chases that one, and it's 1-1.
Well, out of the zone right there. Off-speed pitch. Mark Teixeira goes to chase that. Again, I'm not sure that they're going to give anything, around the plate. The outer edges, hoping that Teixeira expands his zone.
Weaver trying to pitch out of more trouble. Just misses outside.
Well, how do you think that conversation went with Napoli and Weaver? Hey, you want to pitch to Teixeira? Well, that Alex Rodriguez guy is on deck. I don't know. Maybe we'll pitch to him. Well, not a lot of options in this situation.
They pitched to Cano instead of working around him in the 4th inning, and he delivered an RBI single, but Teixeira swings and misses. Count is level, 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 down.
Well, another off-speed pitch on the outer half of the plate, and this is where Jared Weaver is using the aggressiveness of Mark Teixeira against him. He swung at 2 pitches that were not hitters' pitches, but sometimes that happens. You see that runner out at second base, you want to drive that run in.
The 2-2 and another foul ball. So Teixeira making Jared Weaver, who's on the brink of 100 pitches for the day, continue to work out here. Teixeira, of course, was traded from the Braves to the Angels last July for Casey Kochman. And as you talked about, performed more than admirably the rest of the way for the Halos. Stepping up here as a Yankee. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Jeter, who doubled with 1 out, is at second. Yankees lead at 4-1. Strike 3, breaking ball right on the inside corner. Strikeout number 7 for Weaver. Most of them have been called third strikes. Takes ball 1. Kendrick will celebrate his 26th birthday tomorrow as he saw Jeter right on the edge of the outfield grass. Brandon Wood to follow, and then Rob Quinlan against Andy Pettit. And the breaking ball is in for a strike. Dick Stockton along with Eric Karros, and melting somewhere out there is Chris Rhodes. getting a little breeze up here now. It's very comfortable, I think. There's a shot to center field, a base hit. So Kendrick with the third hit of the game for the Angels, who touched Pettit for 2 last inning and scored their first run of the game.
Kendrick gets a pitch that's up over the middle of the plate, just drives it right back up the middle. You know, coming into today's game, a .457 average against the Yankees, the highest of any opposing player currently.
And living up to that billing as Brandon Wood, who walked to lead off the third inning, comes up. 4-1 the score, and you know that Mike Scioscia wants to get something going. Kendrick has seven stolen bases in 9 tries, and Wood checking with the third base coach Dino Ebel to see whether perhaps a hit and run might be in order. Runner does not go, and that pitch a bit high. 2 balls and no strikes. So there is a young Brandon Wood. First round draft pick, 2003. Ahead on the count, 2-0. Fouled away.
Well, he worked the count to his favor. Got a 2-0 count, looking for a fastball just a bit late, puts a bit outside, but he's got tremendous power. He's displayed that in the minor leagues. And again, what the Angels are waiting for, can he translate that at the big league level?
And the Angels with a patchwork lineup, considering a lot of their big producers not playing. 2 on the disabled list, and Torrey Hunter and Vladimir Guerrero. Juan Rivera also out as well. Rivera, by the way, taken out of the game last night. Tightness in his quad and right hamstring. He's expected back maybe before the end of the weekend. Pitch is up high. 3-1. Pettit falling behind Wood. And there you see, waiting on deck is Rob Quinlan, who, if Wood gets aboard, would be the tying run coming to the plate. In the air to right center field. That's deep. That's back. That's gone. Brandon Wood with a 2-run homer, and the Angels climb to within 1. Just as quickly, the Angels back in the game, and that seems to be the story with these 2 teams in their regular season battles this year. Here's Rob Quinlan, first pitch, line drive, right field, base hit, and Hinsky handles it well on the tough hop. And so a single home run, and now Quinlan with a base hit, still nobody out.
Well, Pettit doesn't make that bad of a pitch. It's down in the zone, but Brandon Wood stays right on it. Again, we talked about the power that he's displayed at the minor league level. He goes with it, drives it to right center, hits the 2-run shot. You see here from the side, he stays again behind that front leg. You stay behind that front leg, it allows you to use your bottom half, which is where you generate your power as a hitter. Stays behind it, goes with the pitch, and again, on these warm days here in Anaheim, the ball will carry.
Dave Eiland, the pitching coach, coming out to the mound for the conference, and the top of the order, Sean Figgins, who has walked and flied out, has a stolen base as well. Rodriguez playing a few steps in his third, and the first pick, checked swing, but in for the strike. So the Angels now trail 4-3, and last night they were down 5-1 in the fourth, battle back to tie it up, take the lead. Yankees inch closer, and then the Angels won going away 10-6. And the pitch inside, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. So Brandon Wood, who hit 5 home runs last year for the Angels, coming up with a timely blow. We've had 3 homers in this game. A-Rod and Hinsky for the Yankees. Wood moments ago for the Angels. Yankees have bullpen activity. Dave Robertson begins to throw. 1-1 breaking pitch in there for the strike 1-2. And there is Robertson working for the Yankees. Teixeira holding on Quinlan. Nobody out. 3 hits, including the 2-run homer for the Angels here in the bottom of the 5th, fighting back. It's never easy, is it, when you're the Yankees playing the Angels?
Well, the Angels just don't quit. And if you don't put them out of the game early and you let them hang around, but they're eventually, with their style of play, going to come back and get you.
And time called as Posada goes to the mound. Well, the last 2 times these teams have played in the ALDS in 05 and before that in 02, the Angels won. Yankees took 2 out of 3, and 1 game rained out earlier this season in New York. And they're 2-2 so far this year. Yankees actually make another visit before the end of the year in Anaheim. Robertson warming up for the Yankees. And this is where Jabba Chamberlain couldn't extend as a starter enough. And Joe Girardi hopes that Pettit can here in the 5th inning. Ground ball hit to shortstop. Jeter will go to promotion. To throw to first, safe. That's the first out. And Figgins is on the fielder's choice. And once again, here is today's Gillette Trivia question. Derek Jeter and Mariano Rivera have each been selected to their 10th All-Star game. What is the Yankee all-time record for All-Star game selections? And the answer, the Mickey Mantle, 20 times selected to the All-Star game.
Wow. I wonder how many of those, you remember when they had 2 All-Star games in a year? You know, if you doubled up a few times. But man, 20. Wow.
That's amazing, but he was truly a great one as Eric Ibar steps in and takes ball 1. What do you think of that, Chris Rose? 20, huh?
Pretty amazing. But, guys, I actually have an Angels question for you, and I'm going to do it Jeopardy style. The answer is Tim Salmon. The question is, who has the most career homers without appearing in an All-Star game? And Salmon, 299 career homers.
All right.
We're going to get to that list momentarily.
Tim Salmon makes an appearance. Look at number 2, my partner. Throw to first base. Let's see that again. I'd like to take a long look at that list.
Let's not take a look too long.
Yeah, just keep it up there for 3 or 4 innings.
You know what's amazing to me that I didn't realize? I mean, I obviously was very aware of the first 2. But that number 4 on the list, Kirk Gibson. You know, some of the dramatic home runs he hit. Won an MVP and home run against the Padres off of Goose Gossage while he was with the Tigers. And then, of course, a home run for the Dodgers off Dennis Eckersley. But some pretty decent players on that list there, huh, Dick?
I don't believe what I just saw. That was Jack Buck's famous call on the network broadcast of Kirk Gibson's home run. And, of course, Jack's son Joe will be calling the All-Star game Tuesday from his native St. Louis with Tim McCarver, who, of course, played in All-Star games and played for the St. Louis Cardinals for so many years. So a tremendous amount of connection between the Cardinals, one of the great franchises in baseball, and the All-Star game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that just because I'm sure Joe Buck, being a good host, will have some sort of get-together, a party, whether it's a barbecue at his house, providing transportation for all the Fox employees out there or something.
I'm not even going, and yet I've received an invitation to come out to St. Louis. I'm sure you have, and Chris as well. All right, 2 balls and no strikes to Eric Ibar with 1 out. And the pitch is in there for the strike, and it's 2-1. 2 balls and a strike.
Hey, EK, by the way, I know 284 career homers, didn't make the All-Star team, but 2,000, 20 homers, 75 ribs at the break. You got shafted, although McGuire, Helton, and Galarraga somehow snuck in ahead of you.
Well, actually, McGuire was hurt and didn't even play in the game.
But he suited up?
No, didn't even go.
What happened?
Well, you know, I will say the worst thing about that is there was a sports show talking about the snubbed players. I didn't even make the snubbed list.
You got snubbed from the snub list?
Snubbed from the snub. My claim to fame.
Wow. As I said earlier, this will be your second straight All-Star game. And granted, it's working television. But that's okay.
3 balls and 1 strike with 1 out to Eric Ibar. And a base hit to right field. Rounding second. And going to third is Figgins. And now runners at the corners, still with 1 out. The tying runners at third. Go-ahead run at first for the Angels as Ibar gets his second hit in as many innings.
Well, a great at-bat by Eric Ibar, waiting the count out, waiting for a pitch to drive the other way. And what has become a staple of Angel baseball, Sean Figgins on first base. Is there any doubt or any question that he will end up at third? Absolutely not. He's going all the way. That's what the Angels do better than any club in baseball, go first to third.
And they've gone to first to third 63 times to lead the major leagues. And Bobby Abreu coming up. He knocked in a run last inning, the first run for the Angels. 2 runs coming in on Brandon Wood's home run earlier here in the 5th. And the tying run at third, still with 1 out. And Abreu 1 for 2 on the day. And we've talked about how he has performed with runners in scoring position. Nearly 380 on the year. There you see Abreu, 378 now, behind Joe Mauer and Dustin Pedroia.
Well, as a hitter right now, he's looking for something up in the zone. He wants to keep the ball off of the ground, stay out of the double play.
1-0, the count with 1 out. Breaking ball is in for the strike. 1-1 to Abreu, who has 37 runs batted in 37 games. And Andy Pettit trying to get out of this 5th inning with the Yankees still in front. 20 pitches so far here in this inning. 81 for the game. Still a little bit conservative. Not thrown too many. Pitches outside, 2-1. David Robertson would be ready if the Yankees need him. 2 balls and a strike. Angels have now out-hit the Yankees 6-4, trying to keep Ibar close. A lot of speed on the bases for the Angels here. Abreu, in his 3-year career with the Yankees, 43 homers and 243 runs batted in. Only Pujols and A-Rod, along with Abreu, have 100 RBIs in each of the last 6 years. And this is why. Line drive over Jeter into left center field. Tying run will score, and the play at third, safe at third, is Ibar. Figgins comes in on Abreu's RBI single as Ibar goes to third. It's a 4-4 game, and the Angels still have runners at the corners. For Abreu, his 56th run batted in of the year. And that is going to be all for Andy Pettit as he does not finish the 5th inning. Pitching change coming up, and we'll be back to Angel Stadium in a moment.
center, just as he did earlier in the game. And what have we seen? We have seen Angel runners go first to third. This situation, Eric Ibar hustling all the way, the play in front of him. Again, first to third, Angel baseball.
And now it's time for the Zantac relief pitcher profile. Heartburn, Attackett, Zantac, and David Robertson, who last pitched Thursday against Minnesota, walked 3 in an inning, and there are his numbers. Making his 24th appearance of the year, was recalled on May the 26th, and facing Mike Napoli, throw to first base, and Abreu gets back. Remember, Abreu has 19 stolen bases amongst the league leaders, and we're not looking at the Angels trailing anymore. The score is 4-4. Ibar is at third, the go-ahead run. So once again, successive days, the Angels have come back from early deficits. Fly ball hit deep to right center field. Gardner going over, can't get it. Ibar will score. The Angels lead, and they're going to wave in Bobby Abreu, and he's going to score easily. And a 2-run double for Mike Napoli, and the Angels have taken a 6-4 lead. It didn't take long against David Robertson.
Well, this pitch up in the zone, Mike Napoli just keeping it in the air. That's his only goal up at the plate. Anything else is gravy. He wants the sacrifice fly. Drives it to right center, gets the double, drives in 2 runs. This Angel ball club is relentless.
And having one of their best offensive seasons in club history, by the way. And they have scored a bunch of runs. They were down in runs scored earlier in the year. Now have climbed to 5th. Kendry Morales, the batter. Strike 1 to Morales, 0 for 2. Fly to right and reached on a fielder's choice. So Andy Pettitte, and the runs charged to him, and would stand as the losing pitcher in this game if the Yankees don't come back. Angels with 5 runs here in the 5th inning, taking a 6-4 lead. Napoli with the lead at second, and that's low, 1-1.
Well, and remember last night in the 5th inning, Kendry Morales with the big 3-run shot. The Angels scored 4 runs last night to tie the ball game at 5 in the 5th. Again, making noise in the 5th inning.
6 hits here in this 5th inning by the Angels. 1-1 to Morales. 1 away. That's up high, 2-1. It all started with Howie Kendrick's leadoff single to center field, and Brandon Wood, who was just recalled when Torrey Hunter and Vlad Guerrero went on the disabled list, hit a 2-run homer. Quinlan followed with a base hit after a fielder's choice. Ibar and Abreu with hits, and Napoli with a double. Abreu with an RBI single. So the Angels have their hitting shoes on at the expense of Andy Pettitte, who for only the 2nd time in 27 career starts hasn't gone 5 innings against this Angels team. Count to Morales, 2-2. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yankees took a 2-0 lead in the 1st inning on Alex Rodriguez' 2-run homer, his 2nd in as many games. A 2-out home run by Eric Hinsky made it 3-0 in the 2nd inning, and then the Yankees added another run on a Robinson Cano base hit. But the Angels fought back. Run in the 4th and 5 here in the 5th. And the count full now, 3-2. And on deck is Gary Matthews Jr. There's the Angels center fielder waiting to hit. And there's a shot hit to Cano at second. Plays to first base for the 2nd out, as Napoli goes to 3rd. 2 out, runner at 3rd base to Gary Matthews Jr.
Well, you know, Dick, this is a guy for me, Gary Matthews Jr., that is going to get an opportunity with Torrey Hunter out. And he's somebody that I think can absolutely make an impact. Has not had a good season up to this point. You see Torrey right there. But he's a guy that the Angels signed a few years ago to a multi-year deal. Had a great year in Texas. But you look at the average, 221, only 2 home runs. He's a lot better ball player than that.
34-year-old outfielder takes a strike. The Angels are his 7th major league club. Played in Texas and actually was an all-star with the Texas Rangers 3 seasons ago. Brandon Wood, who struck the big blow to get the Angels back in this game earlier here in the 5th, waiting on deck. And that pitch in the dirt. Stopped by Posada with Napoli at third. Matthews is the 9th hitter to come up here in this inning. So here are the Angels, who were trailing the last 2 days, I should say, 5-1 and then 4-0. Without 3 of their big offensive performers and coming back. And as you talked about, they took a page of what they've always done, that 1st to 3rd situation.
Well, and on this homestand, 3 different times they've trailed by 4 or more runs and have come back and won the ball game. And they're in line right now.
Napoli at third, the 2-1 pitch. 3-1 now to Matthews, with Kendrick, who started it all, waiting to hit. Angels with the left-hander Darren Oliver throwing. Both of these teams battling, as you see Oliver, in their respective divisions, and what tight divisions it is, and more than just 2 teams involved. Ball 4, and Matthews walks. Runners now at 1st and 3rd with 2 out, and Howie Kendrick, to the dismay of Joe Girardi, will be coming up for the 2nd time here in the 5th inning. Kendrick began it all with a single to center, came around on Brandon Wood's home run. So right now, as you see, Ebel over with Mike Napoli. Runners at the corners. How many times have we said that for the Angels in the last couple of innings? Robertson's first pitch, breaking pitch for a strike.
Well, you talk about Howie Kendrick leading off this inning, getting things started. I mean, an interesting year for him this year. He's a guy that those in the Angel organization talk about having the ability to win a batting title. Yet just a month ago, he found himself in AAA. Really struggling. Went down there, seemed to have found his stroke. Again, they're looking for him to play at the level they believe he can play.
Well, he hit .306 in 92 games last year for the Angels, but was under 200 in May when he was sent down. And, you've got to have a guy like, really, Mike Scioscia is an ideal, admiral to really balance the ship. No balls and 2 strikes. Runner going. And safe at second base on the stolen base is Gary Matthews Jr. So runners now at 2nd and 3rd, and the count 1-2 to Kendrick.
Well, you talk about Mike Scioscia, you look at Joe Girardi right there, but really this organization, the Angels, Tony Regan's a general manager. The depth that this Angel organization has is really unparalleled. I mean, they've been able to sustain a lot of injuries, yet they just plug in one guy, they plug in another guy, and Mike Scioscia puts them in situations to succeed.
And when you call up guys, they want them to play and perform. Right?
Yep. And they're ready. A credit to this organization.
2-2 pitch up the middle and a base hit to center field. 2 runs are going to come around to score. Here comes the throw. It's cut off. And so Howie Kendrick with his 2nd hit drives in 2 more runs. 2nd hit this inning drives in 2 more runs. And the Angels now in front 8-4 over the Yankees. A hard shot right past David Robertson.
Well, Howie Kendrick continuing his assault against Yankee pitching. We mentioned an average over 450, 2 base hits this inning, 2 RBIs. You know, and again, it becomes, after a while, sure, it's physical performance, but it's a mental state. Howie Kendrick has all kinds of confidence anytime he's facing somebody in pinstripes or wearing a Yankee hat. This Angel Ball Club has confidence when they're playing the Yankees. They know that they can win because they've done it.
There goes the runner. The pitch taken inside, and the throw is in time. And it appeared that Howie Kendrick overslid the bag. Looked like he had beaten the throw. In any event, the inning is over. 7 hits and 7 runs for the Angels, who lead by 4. Shave. And by Applebee's, it's a whole new neighborhood. Well, a big 7-run, 7-hit 5th for the Angels, who lead by 4 runs. They've out-hit the Yankees 9-4, but it'll be Rodriguez, Matsui, and Posada against Jared Weaver, who can exhale a little bit now with a 4-run lead after finding himself down by 4 runs early. And swung on and missed by A-Rod for strike 1. Rodriguez with a 2-run homer back in the first, his 16th of the year, walked and scored a run in the 4th. And Reggie Willits has gone into play left field, replacing Rob Quinlan. 1-1 the count to Rodriguez. So Andy Pettit working 4 1/3 innings, giving up 6 runs on 7 hits. All the runs were earned. Walked 2, struck out 1, and gave up the home run to Brandon Wood. Gun on and missed on a good breaking ball, 1-2.
Well, and this is a big inning for Jared Weaver and the Angels. You know, where they've had trouble, the bullpen's been better as of late, but still a little shaky, getting out 15 through 24, you know, and that's something they've got to get through this inning.
A-Rod strikes out. That's number 8 for Jared Weaver, and there's a 101st pitch. 1 out in the 6th, and right now time for a DirecTV game break. Here's Chris Rose.
Guys, I got a former Yankee doing some damage on the north side of Chicago. Alfonso Soriano, the RBI single, scored D-Lee, his 33rd run batted in. Cubbies started the day 4.5 back of the Cards in the NL Central. Up, leading it in the 7th. Remember to follow your favorite out-of-market team, only on DirecTV.
All right, Chris, thank you. As Hideki Matsui, and all we've seen him do today is take cuts. Fastballs, changeups, breaking balls, you name it. He has struck out twice, called out in the first, swinging in the 4th. and swings and misses on a high slider, it appeared, and count 0-2.
Well, he just hasn't been able to solve Jared Weaver. I mean, there you see the power pitch right by Matsui. We saw earlier in the game, way out in front of the off speed, the changeup. He's really got Matsui thinking.
And he strikes out. So there are 2 down quickly. That's the 9th strikeout. 2 down, and Matsui goes down for the 3rd time. Well, we'd like to announce the winners of the People All-Stars Among Us from these 2 cities, Christina and Michael Pesci from Parsippany, New Jersey, and Christine Shively from Newport Beach, California. Be sure to see them, and the other 28 winners will be announced during the Pepsi All-Star pregame show on Fox this Tuesday. Jorge Posada, breaking ball, strike 1. He has struck out once and fly to center his last time up. So Weaver, riding the wings of a 4-run lead, now has retired 4 in a row. Pitching with a lot of confidence now that the Angels have given him a cushion.
Well, and what's really important, the Angels give him the cushion. Weaver goes right out there, going right after hitters, not trying to pitch outside, pitch inside. What that does, gets his club back in the dugout, puts the Yankees out in the field in this hot sun.
And just missing inside, and Weaver and the fans here at Angel Stadium were looking for a punch out and a strikeout the side in order situation. Jared Weaver, whose career high strikeouts is 10, looking for number 10 right here. Here's the 0-2 pitch, again inside, and the count even at 2-2.
Well, he's trying to get that fastball in on the left-handed hitter, started at the hip and then have it come back over the inside part of the plate. Very tough for left-handed hitters to hit that pitch.
The 2-2. And the count runs full, 3-2. Jared Weaver coming in as the big winner on the Angels staff, 9-3 on the year. Well, they've had problems with their other starters. But Weaver has been a beacon in the night, and there's a ball hit to right field, right at Bobby Abreu, and that'll do it. A 1-2-3 inning for Weaver, and that's the 2nd time he's done that in the
Well, this is the Eric Hinsky home run. You see the rotation of the hips. Look at staying behind his front side. Look at that back elbow. It's tucked in against the body. That's where you generate the most power. And look at those eyes, ladies and gentlemen, right there looking at the ball. That's our Flomax replay.
And Brandon Wood taking strike one, leading off here in the 6th inning. He was at the plate when Howie Kendrick was thrown out trying to steal. Brandon Wood with a 2-run homer brought the Angels closer last inning. At that time it was 4-1. Came within a run, and they wound up with 7 runs on 7 hits, sending 11 men to the plate. Or actually, you should say 10, because Wood was not retired. No balls and 2 strikes, and he is a strikeout victim. 1 down here in the 6th. So David Robertson getting his first strikeout. And here is Reggie Willits coming up for the first time. Went into play the outfield last inning. Willits, a switch hitter, making his 12th appearance of the year, has 1 RBI. Squares to bunt, takes call, strike 1.
Willits has been up and down the last few years. You see Jared Weaver catching his breath. Willits has played some center field, some left field, fill in anywhere, been in the leadoff spot. But again, a very nice player to have as that 24th or 25th on the roster.
Here you see the last 3-year log of Reggie Willits. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Call strike 2 to Willits, who in his career is 2 for 32 against the Yankees. Facing Dave Robertson, second pitcher. Andy Pettit did not last 5. Gave up 6 runs on 7 hits. And the ball getting away on with strike 3, and safe at first base on the pass ball. Call it wild pitch. The wild pitch, and so Willits is aboard.
You talk about Willits only having 2 hits against the Yankees. Here, completely fooled. This pitch bounces about 4 feet in front of home plate. So just as Howie Kendrick gets excited when the Yankees come to town, Reggie Willits, eyes closed and hoping that he doesn't have to go in the game, just has had no success whatsoever.
But here he is on base with 1 out, and Sean Figgins, 0 for 2 with a walk, has scored a run, has a stolen base. 1-0 the count. We mentioned the Yankees set for their post All-Star starting rotation. A.J. Burnett will start against the Tigers, and CeCe Sabathia getting an extra day's rest. And as you mentioned, that'll be Friday when the Yankees begin a good homestand against the Tigers, Oakland, and Kansas City.
You know, I think that's a real advantage. You see Burnett and Chamberlain to open up Friday after the All-Star break. You know, really it gives you that extra day, which is so important.
Call strike, 1-1.
With only that 3-day break and then having to play on Thursday, sometimes when you're on the road, you have to go back, fly Wednesday. It's not much of a break. The Yankees have the advantage of opening at home on Friday.
And of course, Mariano Rivera, Derek Jeter, Mark Teixeira, all going to St. Louis, representing the Yankees in the All-Star game. There's a breaking pitch in for a strike to Figgins. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yankees have Brett Tomko warming up in the bullpen. There he is, under the watchful eye of the bullpen coach Mike Harkey. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. And going over to first to keep Willits close. Yankees have 3 going to the All-Star game. The Tampa Bay Rays, because their manager Joe Madden will be the manager for the American League, and the Red Sox with 6. Two and 2 now to Figgins, the designated hitter today. And what a difference when he's healthy. And of course, last year he was not. Has hit well against the Yankees and has been on a tear the last couple of months.
Well, and Figgins so versatile. I mean, he again, you know, surprised that he wasn't picked to replace Torrey Hunter on the All-Star team. just because he can do so many things to help you win a game. Play defensively, third or second, come in, pinch run, steal a base, give a good at-bat.
Here goes the runner. Willits gets a good jump. And the throw to second, not in time. So striking out is Figgins for out number 2, and a stolen base for Willits. So he's in scoring position with 2 down, and Ibar coming to the plate.
Well, Willits, a nice job after a number of pickoff attempts by David Robertson, not necessarily to get the runner, but just to keep Willits close. Gets a good jump, gets into second base, and is in scoring position.
You know, you just touched on a pretty good point here. As Ibar, who's 2 for 3 and robbed of a hit in his other at-bat, has a double, single, and has scored 2 runs today. And the point from Robertson after this pitch, it's taken for a strike, and that is, yes, Figgins wanted to go to the All-Star game. Nelson Cruz, the Rangers outfielder, replaces Torrey Hunter because he's an outfielder, and you know, that's an interesting point. You know, the Angels lose a guy. Well, who could go from the Angels?
Well, and it makes all the sense in the world. And again, if you're trying to win a game, Figgins very versatile.
That ball is going to go past Damon to the wall. Another run will score. Heading for third is Ibar, and he's in with a stand-up triple. Eric Ibar with his 3rd hit in as many innings. A double, a single, and a triple, and you know what he's missing now. And another run crosses the plate as Willits scored to make it 9-4 in favor of the Angels. That'll be all for Robertson.
Well, a hanging breaking ball right there. Johnny Damon playing in wide open left center. He drives the ball to left center. Another run scores for the Angels. They lead in the 6th, 9-4.
The official soft drink of Major League Baseball. And the new pitcher, Brett Tomko, the 3rd of the day for the Yankees, who now trail by a score 9-4. And Bobby Abreu, who has knocked in runs with singles in each of the last 2 innings. So Tomko making his 15th appearance of the year. Went to El Dorado High School in Placentia, California, 6 miles north of Angels Stadium off the Orange Freeway. And his first pitch to Abreu is ball 1. 36 years old. Would like to be 26, I'm sure, in his 13th season. 2 down. And Ibar on at third, and it's in for the strike. How about Ibar, Abreu, and Napoli, the 2, 3, 4 hitters for the Angels, are 6 for 7 in the last 3 innings with 5 runs batted in. How about that for a cluster?
That's pretty good. That is pretty darn good. And again, you're going to have to get that type of production with Torrey Hunter, Vladimir Guerrero being out, Juan Rivera today. And Mike Scioscia said he's going to have to be creative. He's going to try to put guys in positions to succeed. And today they have succeeded.
1-2 pitch is inside. And irony to this inning is that we've already had 3 strikeouts, and yet there are only 2 outs, so we could actually have 4 strikeouts this inning. But whatever it is, it adds up to the Angels coming back with yet another run. But not to be. Fly ball, center field. Gardner going back on the warning track, makes the catch to retire the side. Another run crosses the plate. It is now 9-4 Angels. In the 6th after trailing 4-0, now leading 9-4, and Darren Oliver, the 38-year-old lefty from South Lake, Texas, making his 31st appearance, and will be facing Robinson Cano. And the first pitch, a strike to Cano, who has knocked in a run with a base hit today, 1 for 2, 46 RBIs on the year for the Yankees second baseman. Don't forget the All-Star game coming up Tuesday. Chris Rose will be running the batting practice FoxSports.com show beginning at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. And then the Pepsi All-Star pregame show. That's at 8 o'clock, featuring the complete lineup introductions. People Magazine's All-Stars Among Us ceremony and a historic first pitch thrown by President Barack Obama. It'll be a big show. Swung on and missed. 1-2 to Cano. So Darren Oliver, who pitched last night and actually earned his 9th hold of the year, working just the 3rd of an inning. You have to go back to 1993 when Oliver first pitched with the Texas Rangers. 17 years in the bigs.
You talk about Oliver pitching last night. He came in a key situation. Bases were loaded. Hideki Matsui at the plate, and he retired Matsui, a ball to the wall.
This is the lineup again. And we'll say it again. Batting practice, FoxSports.com. There's a line shot center field. Matthews will play it on a hop. So Robinson Cano, who is now 5 for 7 against Darren Oliver, leads off with a base hit here in the 7th inning. So when they talk about matchups, 5-run lead, Mike Scioscia says, well, we'll bring in Oliver, even though we know Cano has hit him in the past.
Well, and it's because Eric Hinske, left-handed hitter, Brett Gardner, left-handed hitter. You know, he figures, look, give Oliver a shot. Maybe he'll get Cano out this time. But again, he has an opportunity to face 3 left-handed hitters.
Cano with 2 hits and 3 trips. And Hinske hits a fly ball to right field, deep, back, gone. Eric Hinske with his 2nd home run of the game. And the Yankees trying to jump back in it. Now trailing 9-6.
See, what did I say? What are his chances of hitting 2 home runs today? I was talking about 2 off of Weaver.
Oh, okay.
Man, I'll tell you what, the way he's swinging the bat, he's going to have to cool off a little bit, or they're going to expect this all the time. But again, staying back behind the ball, keeps that back elbow close to the body, able to generate power. Again, one swing of the bat puts the Yankees within 3.
And Eric Hinske, who played in 54 games with the Pirates, now that's his 3rd home run of the year, 2nd this game. And Melky Cabrera will come up to pinch hit for Brett Gardner. Nobody out. 2 runs in for the Yankees here in the 7th. And the Angels are up by 3. So here's Cabrera, the switch hitter, who's batting right-handed against Oliver. He's a .270 hitter from the right side, .278 overall. And Cabrera 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter this year. Bluff to bunt, takes a call strike. So Eric Hinske, welcome addition to this Yankee team, trying to make an uphill climb, but the Angels did earlier. Good pitch by Oliver, jammed him, and it's fouled away. 0-2.
Well, and as you mentioned earlier in the telecast, you know, both of these teams have come back a major league leading 25 times to win ball games. So when one team gets ahead, don't discount the other one.
But look at the scores of this series. Yankees winning 7-4, 10-9. The Angels winning 8-4, 10-6. And winning here 9-6. You won't find a pitcher's duel in the crowd. Here's the 0-2 down low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, the Yankees with 3 home runs today. A-Rod with the 2-run blast in the first. Hinske with homers in the 2nd and the 7th here. His 7th career multi-home run game. But Cabrera strikes out. Never really looked comfortable at the plate. And that will be the first out here in the 7th inning. And here is today's Taco Bell bringing the heat pitching comparison.
Well, you see, you're looking at velocity right there. Jared Weaver and Andy Pettit basically maintaining the velocity throughout the game, which uncharacteristic because of this weather usually drains the energy level. But I will say this, Jared Weaver down 4-0, stayed away from the big innings, allowed his ball club to have an opportunity to come back. A real credit to Jared Weaver.
Here's Derek Jeter, doubled his last time up, 1 for 3 on the day. Came into the day 3rd in the American League, or I should say 5th, hitting .321. And that's exactly what his average is right now. One away, Darren Oliver in relief of Jared Weaver, looking for his 10th victory. And the pitch is inside. Weaver, by the way, pitched 6 innings. Allowed 4 runs, only 3 of them earned, 4 hits. Walked 2, struck out 9, 1 shy of his career high. Gave up a couple of home runs in the process. That pitch is down low, and it's 3-0 to Jeter. Jason Bolger up in the bullpen for the Angels. Strike, 3-1. Well, the Yankees came into this series having won 8 in a row on the road. As you see Damon on deck, foul ball, and the count is full 3-2. And winning 3 in a row. And you wonder about the so-called momentum in this game of baseball after the Yankees winning in Minnesota. And we always know the old adage that momentum is tomorrow's starting pitcher, but there's really nothing to draw from in a previous game.
Well, you know, the thing is, though, is you can change momentum by your actions, by some of the plays you make out in the field, by a specific at-bat. I think that's what the Angels did last night.
And it's fisted to the right side. Morales makes the play unassisted for out number 2.
And you can also lose momentum when you don't make a play or you don't make a pitch. And that's what happened with the Yankees last night. They gave the Angels some life. Alex Rodriguez unable to complete a play over to first base. Derek Jeter dropping a pop-up. Again, those little increments of losing momentum, the other team has an opportunity to grasp it. And that's the thing you don't want to do. Give the other team an opportunity to take away that momentum.
Punch out, and Johnny Damon with that right leg up. Watch out.
Well, and what he does, though, a good job. He turns into the ball with that front shoulder. If he does get hit, will get hit on the side or the shoulder. Now watch. You see the front shoulder? See how he turns that way? Much better than if you open up. You open up, you leave your chest, your face area susceptible to getting hit with the ball.
Foul out of play. Kind of in a collapsing motion at the plate.
Well, it's almost like the legs. They lose all strength just so you could just get out of the way. You see him trying, he dives almost into the ball. There he fouls the ball off. Shooting the ball to the left side. He does, he kind of just lunges into the ball.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Damon. They've been struggling at the plate as of late. 4 for his last 31 and strikes out for the second time. Yankees pick up 2 on Hinsky's 2-run homer. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Is presented by Pepsi. Every generation refreshes the world. And sponsored by Carfax. Free at your used car dealer. Just say, show me the Carfax. And by Taco Bell, think outside the bun. The Angels leading the Yankees 9-6. Yankees at one point had a 4-0 lead. Big 7-run fifth inning with 11 men coming to the plate on 7 hits. The difference, Melky Cabrera now at center field. Pinch hit for Brett Gardner last inning. And Brett Tomko's first pitch to Mike Napoli. This is ball 1. Yankees been on a roll, especially on the road. They have the best record on the road in the American League, coming in at 25-19, but they risk losing their second in a row to the Angels. The count to Napoli is 2 balls and no strikes, doubled home 2 runs in the 5th. Two and one. Napoli now with 32 runs batted in and a run scored as well, and delivering as the cleanup hitter today for Mike Scioscia.
Well, he has power. 10 home runs, got close to a 380 on base percentage, but he does strike out a lot. He's a swing and miss guy.
And there's a drive hit to left field, and Damon going back on the warning track, and he won't get this one. Home run over the screen for Mike Napoli. His 11th of the year. And the Angels now have scored 10 runs in the last 2 games. 10-6. Napoli, who had 20 homers in only 78 games last year, hits number 11 here.
Well, he stays behind the pitch. Good rotation. Keeps that back elbow close to the body. Like many power hitters, he'll swing and miss, but when he does catch it, look out. 11th home run of the season.
Here's Kendry Morales fouling off the first pitch from Tomko. Morales 0 for 3.
Just nice, very compact. Doesn't jump out at the ball. Very rotational with his hips. Great power.
0-1 the count to Morales. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. The Angels came into this game with only 84 home runs. Fewer, but all but 3 American League clubs. But the difference is they've been hitting a lot more lately. They got off to a slow start in the season, but have really racked up the long ball. Now you're looking at the Yankee bullpen in 5 1/3 innings, 8 runs on 8 hits, and ERA 11.81 in these 2 games. Tomko's pitch is down low, and it's 3-1.
Well, and in fairness to the Yankee bullpen, those aren't the guys that throw the 8th and 9th inning, and the starters, haven't been able to get past the 5th inning. Guys have had to come in early in the game, and it's like it's not your end of game guys, and they've struggled.
No question about it. In fact, what was established during the Twins series and even before was the arrangement to have the left-hander Phil Pope followed by Phil Hughes, and then Mariano Rivera finish up, and the Yankees seem to have something going with that relief pitching arrangement. But as you mentioned, last night they stayed away from those 3. They're doing it again today. And when your starter does not go 5 innings, you've got problems no matter what.
Well, and that's been the issues. And now this is the 3rd game in a row. The last game in Minnesota, spot start by Aceves, he wasn't able to go past 4 innings.
And there's a drive to right field, close to the foul pole, and foul.
When you look at the numbers and the bullpen wears it, they're the one, oh, geez, the bullpen, they gave it up again, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is, that you get overworked, you're asked to come into games much earlier than expected. And the reality is the starters, and they've been real good for the Yankees. They just, run into a rut here these last couple of games.
Here's the 3-2 pitch, and a one-hopper to Teixeira. Recovers and makes the play over to Tomko for the first out. Well, Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball, congratulates Tim Lincecum, who the fans have voted June's MLB Clutch Performer of the Month, presented by Pepsi. Learn more about the MLB Clutch Performer of the Month award at PepsiClutch.com.
Yeah, he's my vote for starter for the National League. I mean, not just because of what he's done and that he deserves it, but I want to see that. I want to see him going against some of the best in the American League. I want to see that confrontation.
Check swing and a strike to Gary Matthews Jr. 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored today. The Angels lead at 10-6. Mike Napoli with a leadoff homer in the 7th inning, providing that 10th run. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. And you know, it's interesting when you talk about who has pitched the best and who should start. I've always felt that in all-star games you have to have a jewel of a pitcher starting. And you can say, well, they all are in a lot of ways. But there's a certain gravitas, a certain kind of weight when you have someone, when you say, hey, it's going to be Lincecum against X. Wow.
Well, who's X? Who is X? I mean, that, you know, for me, I like Greinke. I like what he's done the first half.
He's X.
You know, I think you can make a case for Halladay, but I think Greinke has been that dominant
I agree
in
with
the American League, and I want to see him go against Pujols.
Right, and you know what? That's just because Kansas City has fallen off doesn't mean anything here.
Right.
I know Dan Harron has done well, but, you know, there's a certain kind of Lincecum charm there that may beg for him. Gary Matthews with a line shot single to right field. And a runner at first with 1 out. That's the 12th hit of the game for the Angels, who did not get a hit until Ibar's leadoff double in the 4th inning. Howie Kendrick, all he did was get 2 hits in the same inning today. 2 singles in the 5th inning and 2 runs batted in and a run scored. That was the inning in which the Angels scored 7 runs and knocked out 7 hits. Breaking pitch and a strike to Kendrick. Matthews held on by Teixeira. So here are the Angels losing 5-1 in the 4th last night and trailing 4-0 in the 4th today. Won last night 10-6 and leading 10-6 right now. There's a sharp hit to center field, base hit by Howie Kendrick. Stopping at second is Gary Matthews Jr. So 3 hits this inning off of Brett Tomko. Runners at first and second, 1 out, already a run in.
Well, hard to believe that Howie Kendrick could improve on that 457 average against the Yankees, but 3 base hits today. And he is somebody that, again, has not been able to contribute to what the Angels had hoped this season. And again, he is going to have this whole second half to regain that spot and prove to them that he can hit again at this level.
Brandon Wood has walked, homered, and struck out. 2-run homer in the 5th inning seemed to ignite the Angels. They were down 4-1, brought them to within 4-3, and there you see the numbers continue to rise for the Yankee bullpen. And he pulls that breaking ball foul into the stands for a strike.
Well, this is the home run from earlier, the 2-run shot. A pitch down and away, really not all that bad, but Brandon Wood doing a nice job of staying on that pitch and driving it to right center. A lot of guys try to pull that, roll it over to shortstop. He stayed with it and drove it over the wall.
1 away, runners at first and second. The Angels looking for more. And a ground ball hit to Jeter. And this should be an inning-ending double play, and it is. But the leadoff homer by Napoli giving the Angels a 10-6 lead. And The new pitcher, Jason Bulger, for the Angels. Starting this 8th inning, will face Teixeira, Rodriguez, and Matsui, the heart of the Yankee order. 4-run lead for Los Angeles. And the first pitch is outside. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim leading by a 10-6 score. Darren Oliver worked an inning, gave up 2 runs, 2 hits, and the 2-run homer to Hinsky as Teixeira hits an opposite field fly ball to left field, and Reggie Willits makes the catch for out number 1. Teixeira 0 for 4 in today's game. And now it's time for the Just for Men hair color AL hold leaders from this season. Bobby Say leads the parade.
Well, and you see on that list Jose Arredondo, the LA Angels of Anaheim, with 12. He's down in the minor leagues. This guy with great stuff and, you know, an electric arm, and that they were really hoping could be that 7th or 8th inning guy. But he just hasn't been as consistent as they would have liked. Scott Shields, of course, the 8th inning guy for many years on the disabled list.
Alex Rodriguez, first pitch, ball 1. And just as these players keep their team in the game, you too can stay in the game with Just for Men hair color. So Alex Rodriguez, now with 64 homers against the Angels, hit the 2-run drive in the first inning. 1 for 2, has scored 2 runs, and has 2 runs driven in. Takes ball 2, 2-0. Don't forget the All-Star game coming your way Tuesday. The Pepsi All-Star pregame show starting at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. The 80th All-Star game from St. Louis. A-Rod with a drive deep to right field, and this is gone into the seats for a home run, his second of the game. Alex Rodriguez with a solo home run, bringing his team to within 3 now as it's 10-7. Home run number 17. That looked effortless.
It really did. I mean, it's almost as if Bulger supplied the power, a high fastball out over the plate. But yeah, Alex Rodriguez gets extension. You see the rotation. Keeps his head on the ball. Doesn't try to pull it. Goes with it to right center. And as we've said, the ball carrying today, but he absolutely crushed that.
Here's Matsui, takes a curveball for a strike, and with that home run by A-Rod, his 570th career home run, passing Rafael Palmeiro, 10th all-time right now. So A-Rod with 2 home runs and Eric Hinsky with 2 home runs. Yankees trailing 10-7 here in the 8th inning. 1 out, and the count 1-1 to Matsui, who's looking for a change of venue. He has struck out 3 times in 3 plate appearances today. So Jason Bulger, like Darren Oliver, giving up a home run. Weaver gave up 2 of them. Here's a call, strike 2, 1-2. So Bulger, the 30-year-old from Lawrenceville, Georgia, and like many other pitchers, have served up the gopher ball to Alex Rodriguez. And here's another drive, hit deep to right field. Looking up is Abreu, and this is gone. Hideki Matsui breaks a drought. Was 11 for his last 29, and hits the home run to make it 10-8. So back-to-back homers by Alex Rodriguez and Hideki Matsui, and it's 10-8. And can you say Brian Fuentes?
You see him stay on this pitch, not out in front of it, making contact behind the front leg as well. Well, Matsui's 14th home run of the season, but that's what this Yankee ball club is. It's a team of power. There are many players in the lineup that can hurt you with the long ball. You see now they lead the American League in home runs with 131, 5 today.
And Mike Butcher is out to the mound. Phil Koch is working in the Yankee bullpen. A double-decker bullpen out there. And Kevin Jepson, a rookie, throwing for the Angels. But now it's It would be a save opportunity for Brian Fuentes, who at this point is the only Angel to go to the All-Star game. And here is Posada with one out. Back-to-back homers by Rodriguez and Matsui. Yankees with 5 homers today. Angels lead 10-8. Ball 1.
Well, and Butcher going out to the mound to settle down Bulger, but also to give Jepsen an opportunity to loosen up. I mean, this has happened bang, bang. Nobody was up in the pen at all. There'd already been 1 out recorded, but now you're talking about a 2-run ball game.
And for Matsui, his 14th home run of the year, now with 40 runs batted in. And what a turn of events for him after striking out 3 times previously. Was facing Bulger for the first time. Bounding ball foul. 1-2, the count to Jorge Posada, who's hitless today in 3 trips. So Matsui joining the home run brigade. Bulger's 1-2 to Posada, and that'll go out of play as well. Yankees with 5 home runs, tying their season's high for most homers in a game. They managed to do it against the Indians earlier this year. Time called. Well, after our opening to this broadcast, we mentioned the starting pitchers and then said, well, the hitters have dominated in the season series, and they certainly have. High-scoring games all the way around, all season long between the Angels and Yankees. Foul back, 1-2 still.
Well, I don't know if it's so much the lack of pitching or just a credit to both of these offenses. I mean, they're both offenses that, can hurt you with one swing of the bat. On the Yankee side, the Angels hitting some home runs today, but going first to third, giving good at-bats. Really just a credit to each team offensively.
1 out, nobody on base, and Posada strikes out. 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts today, and there are 2 down in the 8th inning. But the Yankee barrage of home runs. A-Rod in the first inning, a 2-run homer. Eric Hinsky in the second inning, a solo shot. Hinsky in the 7th inning with a man on. Alex Rodriguez with his second homer of the game, followed by Matsui. So 5 home runs, and right now here is the Hyundai in-game box score for the Yankees.
Well, and again, for the Yankees, they're swinging the bats well, they're hitting the long ball, but 4 of those home runs, 4 of the 5 were solo shots. And that's something that, again, it's nice to hit the home runs, but you'd like to see some that meant more than 1 run.
1-0 the count to Cano, who has 2 hits in 3 trips, an RBI and a run scored today, now with 46 RBIs. So that was our Hyundai in-game box score, introducing the all-new 306 horsepower real wheel drive Hyundai Genesis Coupe. Missing outside, 2-0 to Robinson Cano, and Eric Hinsky is on deck. So if Cano can keep it alive and get on base, the tying run in the person of Hinsky would come up. I think he's made an impact since coming over from the Pirates in that trade late June. It's 3-0.
And really the last thing you want to do if you're an Angel pitcher is give the Yankees a free pass, because as you just mentioned, you bring the tying run to the plate. Yankee offense, very powerful. It'll make them earn it.
And they have a right-hander in Jepsen warming up and a right-hander on the mound. Ball 4, not even close. Cano draws a walk, and the tying run will come to the plate. And that'll be all as Mike Scioscia comes out of the dugout. And that will be all for Bulger. making his 20th appearance on the year. Last night, the Angels used 5 relievers. Jepson is the 3rd reliever in this one. And here is Hinske, who has homered twice, has 3 runs batted in. Already back-to-back homers here in the 8th inning by Rodriguez and Matsui. Yankees making it uncomfortable for the Angels now. And the first pitch, ball 1. So the top 2 comeback teams in Major League Baseball showing why today. Hinske has never faced Jepson.
Well, in Jepson, you look at the ERA, it's over 9. You're saying, geez, throw some gas on the fire here. But in his last few outings, he's really thrown well. Great power arm. He's throwing a cutter now. The pitching coach, Mike Butcher, showed him, and he's been very, very effective.
And the breaking pitch, the cutter right there, is inside, and it's 2-0.
Well, and you see that velocity. That's 91, 92 mile an hour cutter, which is something that as a hitter, you're not up there going, yeah, that's great. 91, 92 mile an hour cutter. Not something you're very fond of. But at the end of the day, as a pitcher, you've got to get it over the plate.
2-0 pitch. 3-0. And on deck is Melky Cabrera. So things are getting tight for the Angels. There is Cabrera, who is 1 for 1 against Jepson. So this, you mentioned Brian Fuentes. This is a game that he would loom as coming in. At this point, the pitch was in for the strike, 3-1.
Well, you saw that velocity there, 97 mile an hour fastball. Now, the kid has a great arm, no question about it. It's can he harness his stuff?
Strike 2.
97 and come back with a 98. Take that.
What about the changes of speed? Does he need it?
Well, you know, again, when you've got that much movement on your cutter and you're throwing that 91, 92, very tough for a hitter. Ideally, you'd love to have that changeup, but 98 is pretty darn good.
And there is a line drive snared by Kendrick to end it. Howie Kendrick making the catch. Yankees get 2 runs, come within 2, but that's all. Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by Pepsi, is sponsored by Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, in theaters everywhere Wednesday, July 15th. By Cataway and by Olive Garden. When you're here, your family. 10-8 the score. It's been a wild one here at Angels Stadium. And Phil Koch has come on. He'll be the fourth pitcher of the day. His 42nd appearance. Last outing was Thursday at Minnesota, worked 2/3 of an inning. He is outstanding rookie last year, made 12 appearances, and that's where Joe Girardi saw what he had in Phil Koch.
Well, he has really done a good job filling in that 7th and 8th inning. He and Phil Hughes, as of late, being the bridge to Mariano Rivera, as you mentioned earlier.
Reggie Willits fouls it off, leading off here. His second time up, struck out and reached base on a wild pitch in the 6th inning. So Willits leading off, followed by Figgins and Ibar. And Brian Fuentes is up in the Angel bullpen. And a foul back right above us. No balls and 2 strikes. So Phil Koch has 1 save and 4 opportunities. And Joe Girardi does have other relievers who could save if Mariano Rivera has been overworked. Check swing, a appeal, and it was not a swing, according to first base umpire Brian Gorman. Count is 1-2. There's Fuentes. Here's the 1-2. And a line shot past Jeter into left field for a base hit. Willits leads off the Angels' 8th with a base hit. Their 14th hit of the game. And setting it up for Sean Figgins, their leadoff man.
Well, you got Figgins coming to the plate. Now, this is the perfect situation for Mike Scioscia to do something, whether it's a straight steal, whether it's a hit and run. If 2 guys at the plate, or 2 guys out there that can run, Willits, Figgins at the plate. Figgins can handle the bat. He can bunt. These 2 type of guys give Scioscia a lot of options.
Walked his first time up, stole second, was stranded at third, has been retired 3 times since. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th and did score a run. No balls and a strike to Sean Figgins. The Angels trying to get some more, and you never know when you really have enough. Apparently you don't when these teams play. So Willits is on at first base. And Koch missing here, 1-1.
Well, and that's the thing about the Angels. It doesn't matter if they're ahead, if they're behind, if they're way behind. Constantly putting pressure on the other team. Make the opposing team have to make plays.
They have 3 stolen bases today. 1 was thrown out, and Koch trying to keep Willits close. And a lot of first and third. So not only stolen bases, but runners on the move on pitches. Batters knowing what to do with it. Going to the opposite field, making contact, and producing first and third situations. 2 balls and a strike now to Figgins. And Eric Ibar is on deck. So Joe Girardi wants to go into this All-Star break with something to smile about, but after losing the 5-1 lead last night and a 4-0 lead here and finding himself trailing, hoping the Yankees still have 1 comeback left in them. Meanwhile, the Angels trying to prevent that. The runner was off, and the pitch is fouled off as Willits was going. The count 2-2.
Again, that's what we talk about, Mike Scioscia putting his players in motion. You know, and I can't say enough about, forcing the issue, having to make the other team make plays. I mean, Mike Scioscia, a catcher for so many years, knows how difficult it was to stop the running game, how difficult it was to throw a guy out at second.
And a high throw, diving back this time, was Willits. Phil Koch, 26 years old, from Sonora, California. Let's see that play.
Well, what's interesting about it, the pickoff over at first base, we'll take a look in a little bit. But the way Mark Teixeira handled that ball.
Foul back. Still 2-2 the count.
Now watch Mark Teixeira. It's a high throw. Now watch. He'll act like the ball got away and he's looking the other way, hopefully trying to deke the runner, confuse him, have him get up and go. just a little trick that a first baseman will try to play with the runner.
A thinking man's player.
Thinking man's player.
The 2-2. Out of play once more, and a good at-bat for Sean Figgins. Phil Koch, the fourth pitcher of the day. Andy Pettit pitched the first 4 in the third innings. And stands as the losing pitcher if the Yankees can't come back. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning, and it's a 2-run deficit for the Yankees. And almost trapped in a wild throw. Willits will go to second. He was leaning the wrong way, and it appeared the Yankees had a chance to pick him off instead. And throwing error, Willits winds up on second.
Again, I'm talking about making the other team have to make plays. And even when you're out, the opposing team has to execute. In that situation, Phil Koch wasn't able to execute a proper throw. Angels move down to second base. Reggie Willits there.
So that's really hurts the Yankees because there's nobody out. And now the Angels could play it a lot of different ways with Figgins and then Ibar coming up. Robinson Cano shaded towards second to try to keep Willits close to the bag. Error charge to Phil Koch. First Yankee error of the day. And swing and a miss, and the ball gets by. And going to third base and on at first base. So we have had 2 throwing errors by pitchers today out at first base, and we have had 2 situations where the batter has struck out, and because of a wild pitch has reached base. A wild pitch charged here to Phil Koch. Runners at first and third.
Well, this situation, Jorge Posada just doesn't drop all the way down to his knees. He's still up in the air a bit, unable to get all the way down to smother the ball. It just sneaks through his legs, gets to the backstop. But again, the inability for the Yankees to make some plays has allowed opportunities for the Angels. We'll see if they capitalize.
The Yankees bring their infield in for a play at the plate. First and third, nobody out against Phil Koch. Angels trying to break it open, but Ibar pops it up, and Derek Jeter making the backhanded catch for out number 1. 1 away. And here are the home runs, the key ones. Brandon Wood with a 2-run homer in the 5th, and then Mike Napoli leading off in the 7th inning as the Angels scored their 10 runs between the 4th and 7th innings, getting 7 in the 5th inning. As you look at our Hyundai in-game box score for the Angels, and all the way around, look at the bottom third of the batting order as well, Eric.
Well, and again, you look at probably the most productive player, as far as power RBIs, Kendry Morales, and he hasn't done anything today. They haven't had to rely on him. The rest of the lineup has picked him up.
Introducing the all-new 306 horsepower rear-wheel drive Hyundai Genesis Coupe. And Dave Island out to the mound, and it seems that other than the first inning, in fact, maybe even the first, when you look at it, Bobby Abreu has come up with runners in scoring in position and a chance to do some damage, and he has today with 2 singles and 2 RBIs in the 4th and 5th innings.
Well, and both of those base hits, line drives to left and left center, stayed with the pitch, hasn't tried to pull it, gone the other way. I have a feeling he'll get a number of breaking balls on the outer half of the plate. Going to have to keep that front side in and try and shoot it to left.
So the Yankees trying to keep it to a 2-run deficit, and the Angels want to add. Bobby Abreu taking inside ball 1. Brian Fuentes will be coming in the 9th inning for the Angels in a save opportunity. Picked up his major league leading 25th save last night against the Yankees. Willits at third, and Sean Figgins on at first base. And Abreu goes chasing and fouls it away, and it's 1-1.
And that pitch on the outer half of the plate. You see all this area right here that Bobby Abreu could shoot a ball through. Mark Teixeira having to hold the runner at first base. That's why if you're going to go inside, you better go hard in off of the plate. If you go anything soft, Bobby Abreu can just pull the ball, base hit through the right side.
And the other infielders are bunched together. A-Rod playing wide of third. Jeter deep at short towards second, as Cano the same way. And Abreu lifts a fly ball to center field deep enough to get the run home. And the catch made by Cabrera, tagging up after the catch, scoring easily, is Reggie Willits. And the Angels now lead it 11-8. RBI for Abreu, his third of the game and 57th of the season.
But Bobby Abreu hitting to the situation. He's up there looking for something up in the zone. He wants to keep the ball off of the ground, stay away from the double play. Here he lets the ball get deep in on him, and then he just drives it up to center field. You know, good enough. A fly ball will score Reggie Willits, gives the Angels a 3-run lead.
And Mike Napoli, the batter, he has doubled and homered his last 2 times up and 3 runs batted in. And there goes the runner from first to throw to second base, not in time. Stolen base for Sean Figgins, his 26th of the year. And the Angels now with the runner in scoring position, 2 down.
They just don't quit. They do not let up. Now you've got a runner in scoring position. Base hit here makes it a 4-run game. As Dusty Baker, my former manager, used to say, it's grand slam lead.
And they're going to walk Napoli with first base open and pitch to Kendry Morales.
And you see, you watch that replay right there. It looked like Cano tagged Figgins on the helmet before he reached the bag. See, look at this right here, making contact. Clearly he has not touched the bag, but doesn't matter what we see or what we think. He's safe at second.
So Morales, a switch hitter, will come up hitting right-handed. And as we mentioned, of the 4 switch hitters who started the game for the Angels, more effective as left-handed batters. Morales, a .207 hitter, batting right-handed coming into this game. Hitless in 4 trips. So runners at first and second for the Angels with 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th. Run in, and they've kept that string going. Single run in the 4th, 7 in the 5th, and single runs in the 6th and 7th. Pitch is inside in the 3rd. Posada making the play. 1-0.
Well, an interesting note on Morales. He's got 15 home runs. From the right side, a big donut. 0. No home runs at all.
And riding a career best 14-game hitting streak, which is on the line right here. One ball, no strikes. 1-1. Figgins the runner at second base. Napoli at first. The Angels have really done a great job in run production. And Eric has chronicled the different ways they have done it, not just the home run. They've gotten both out of it today, the home run and the base hit. Talking about the base hit, there's a drive into the left field corner, will score another run, and going to third safely is Napoli. A run scoring double by Kendry Morales, so the strategy backfires for the Yankees. They walk Napoli to get to Morales, who has now extended his hitting streak to 15 games, his 49th RBI, and now the Angels are leading 12-8.
What a nice job by Morales to pick up that run. Mike Napoli, not the most fleet of foot, again going first to third. You know, it doesn't matter who you are on this Angel ball club. You can be the fastest or the slowest. You see Joe Girardi. But it's almost mandatory. Base hit, you got to go first to third.
And the first pitch, a strike to Gary Matthews Jr., who is 1 for 3 with a single and has scored a run. So here are the Angels, who are without Torrey Hunter, hitting over 300. 17 homers, 65 RBIs. Vladimir Guerrero, who's been their longtime run producer, and Juan Rivera, who's been hurt, who has 16 homers, 50 RBIs, and they have scored 22 runs in the last 2 games. Runners at second and third for the Angels. 2 runs in here in the 8th inning. The lead is 4. And the pitch inside very nearly hit Matthews. Well, a rough inning for Phil Koch. And the Yankees bullpen, which had been so fine against the Twins, struggling in the 2 games against the Angels. And a line shot, and that's going to be a base hit to left field. 2-run score, and it is now 14-8 in favor of the Angels as Gary Matthews Jr. drives in 2 more with a base hit to left field. As the Angels just shredding Yankee pitching today. 14 runs on 16 hits, and for Gary Matthews Jr. his 24th and 25th runs driven in.
Well, you know what also is important about this Angel offense right now is they score a few more here in this 8th inning. That allows Brian Fuentes, who is up ready to come into the game, it allows him to sit down. Mike Scioscia at least doesn't have to use him today, can save him, bring him back tomorrow. If he had to use him today, that would have been 2 successive days.
Howie Kendrick taking strike 1. Kendrick with 3 hits. Up and down the lineup. In fact, Sean Figgins, the only starter in the Angel lineup who has not hit safely today. No balls and 2 strikes to Kendrick, who is the 8th man to come up. So 11 men came up in the 5th inning as Joe Girardi reacts to this onslaught by the Angels. In the dirt. So 11 men come up in the 5th inning. 6 in the 7th. And 8 here in this 8th inning. And there is the crooked numbers, as they say. 14 runs, 16 hits. 8 runs on 8 hits. Remember the All-Star game coming up Tuesday. The All-Star break finally here. And there's a grounder to Rodriguez. And a good play made by Teixeira at first, but that'll end it. But not before the Angels get 4. In the ninth inning, trailing by 6. At one time, they were up by 4. And Matt Palmer is the new pitcher for the Angels, their 4th reliever. Jared Weaver started, worked 6 innings. And here is Palmer making his 6th relief appearance this year. He has made 11 starts. And Melky Cabrera, the batter, and the count to him, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And there's a base hit to right field, stroked by Cabrera to start off the 9th inning. Well, we've had a lot of heat today, and certainly a lot of heat with the Yankee relievers. And especially as we listen to the sounds of the game, Mike Everett. Let's hear him behind the plate.
Make sure, who's at first base today? Make sure he stays hydrated tonight, all right?
Yeah.
All right? Isn't it pretty bad back there? Or?
No, not bad. It's okay. Not bad, but I appreciate it. Yeah.
One more time.
All right.
Ready?
You're the boy. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
You doing all right?
Yeah, doing fine.
And the Angels are doing fine, that's for sure, as Derek Jeter takes strike 1. He is 1 for 4 with a double. Mike Everett and the crew doing a great job today. Here's the 0-1 pitch and a ground ball to second base. Looking for 2, 4, 6, 3 double play. And Howie Kendrick was shading towards second with the runner off. And there are 2 down, nobody on base. Well, I'll tell you what, I think it's cooled off nicely up here in the booth. I don't know about Chris Rose, wherever he may be.
Yeah, you saw the men in blue getting cooled down by Rick Smith, the Angels trainer. He was handing out these things, these ammonium towels, and he's been helping me survive the afternoon. Now I'm in the shade, but throughout the first 5 or 6 innings, I was sweating like I looked like I had just gone 10 rounds with Tyson or something. So between Rick, Torrey Hunter, and Joe Saunders, we're playing my bartenders and getting me some H2O. Got to thank those guys, too.
Okay, we'll give them credit for making you feel a little more comfortable.
Just warming you up for St. Louis,
right.
Chris.
Chris.
You'll be in good shape, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to bring these guys along. They're my entourage.
Here's Damon, and he takes it in the dirt. Well, Chris, we're looking forward to you and Eric in the respective dugouts, and you're working the 4:30 batting practice on foxsports.com. We'll be anxiously waiting. Johnny Damon, who is 0 for 3 with a walk, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Tonight on Fox, it's an hour of Cops, followed by an all-new of America's Most Wanted, starting tonight at 8, 7 Central on Fox. And Palmer falls behind Damon 3-0, or 3-1 is the count. And the count is full, 3-2.
You know, one point, we brought it up at the top of the show. Yankee inability to make plays, Angel pressure, that's what leads to Angel victories. It happened again in the 8th inning.
And Damon strikes out and the ball game is over. And the Angels even managed to score 2 runs after they struck out and reached base on wild pitches. And the Angels make it 2 in a row over the Yankees.